The top 16 of the Catfood Minor #Sweet Wonders is complete, but only half of those players made it through to the next round. Let's take a look at some of their best moments.
Reach.
This forehand 30 by Sparrowhawk flips the card placements upside down, giving them an advantage that they carry through to the next level.
Long. Reach, Pinfu, Tanyao, Dora.
A rare double run from Light Pink Yoshi and Suzume deals out a pair of 7,700s, lifting both players up to the top of the standings.
Tanyao, Dora, Dorani. Doraneko-san.
Crestgong expands their lead with the Sumo, eventually leading them to the first place leader bonus and advancement to the next round.
Sumo, どう? Reach.
In a flash, Paradigm's Ippatsu Tsumo turns a normal everyday Pinfu into a ferocious Baimon.
Tsumo. Reach, Ippatsu, Tsumo, Pinfu, Dora, Dorani, Dora. Baimon.
Only 8 players remain, but for half of them, their journey ends tonight. Who will advance to the finals? Let's find out right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the semifinals day of the Catfood Bowl Minor #Sweet Wonders. My name is Tips and Tricks. I'm an English Reachy streamer and commentator, usually streaming on Tuesdays at twitch.tv/tipsandtricks. And today I'm joined by a new face, new voice to the Catfood Bowl, Ichigo. Hi Ichigo, how you doing?
Hi Tips, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you all so much for having me. I'm also a English ReachMahjong streamer, plus some other cozy games on the side. And you can find me at twitch.tv/shiro_Ichigo.
That's a double underscore for the nice aesthetic space between the two names. Definitely go check her out, give her a follow there. As we get underway, I'm sure you won't be disappointed. But of course, we are just the side dish to this main event, and that is the Catfood Bowl Sweet Wonders semifinals. We have our top 8 here today. They started applying to the scramble format. 100 players applications were accepted to play in that 3-day scramble. The best 3 consecutive games was their score in that scramble, and the top 16 moved on. We zeroed out the scores for the playoffs, and we started with the quarterfinals yesterday. Our players played 3 games. There were 16 players there. They were seeded based on their scramble score, and the second and third games were seeded from their previous score. The top 8 moved on, and their scores are halved coming in today. Today we have a very similar format. 3 games will be played, and that'll be added to their score, which has been carried over, right? It was only halved. So all our players are coming in with a previous score this time instead of 0. The first game will be seeded from their quarterfinal score, and the second and third games will be seeded from the preceding game's score. And we will have the players as well as their scores. So top 4 will move on and their scores will be halved to keep it competitive as we move to our finals on Saturday. So we've got a break tomorrow, but we have our big finals on Saturday as we play 3 games then. And the top score after all that is the champion.
It's so exciting, and this score format is also so interesting and brings a whole nother level to the complexity of Mahjong because the scores are halved, which means every single point, every single 100 points that you win on the table will matter for your games going forward. It's not just a blank slate. So whatever the players win today will carry over till tomorrow.
Yeah, we mentioned yesterday when we were watching Paradigm's last game in Game 3 that they were well in the qualification. And so at that point, it's a matter of, do you risk dealing in and potentially losing your spot? Or do you keep playing for more points? Because after all, your goal is to win the entire tournament, not just to qualify. But you do have to qualify to win the whole tournament.
Exactly. It's such a hard conundrum because you don't want to be too greedy when you're guaranteed a spot in the semifinals and then accidentally deal into a big hand and lose the spot. But you also want to get as many points as you can so you can put yourself in a good position for the games going forward.
Yeah, so we can see with our example, Paradigm ended up in 3rd place, so a very solid spot overall. But Sparrowhawk won all their games yesterday, and Suzumi had an enormous 1st place in one of their games. So Suzumi and Sparrowhawk in a pretty commanding lead at plus 47.5 and plus 41.65. As we got Paradigm, Bobrick, The Active, Chris Gong 27, Light Pink Yoshi, and Red Panda rounding it up here. Red Panda holding on to a plus 5.25. So it's about a 42 point difference between 1st and 8th. Now, that being said, our UMA is plus 15, plus 5. Not that big of an UMA, but we are playing with red 5s. So our players can score a lot of points during the game.
And placement does matter. So in case you have a very tight situation where first place gets like 38,000 points and second place gets 37,900, just because first place got that extra 100 points, that means they're going to get an extra 10 points to their score added just for coming in first. So placement matters almost as much as raw points sometimes.
Yes, indeed. Of course, our players are playing for our prizes here. First place gets that priority pass to the advanced tournaments, the Catfood Major, and the other big tournaments. Oftentimes they've been cross-server in the past, so you'll get to play against the Chinese, the Japanese servers. You'll also get a $300 Amazon e-gift card, 10,000 Jade, 30-day fortune charm, that Catfood Bowl Champion limited title in order to welcome in spring. Look at those beautiful sakura petals on it. The limited portrait frame, the physical trophy, and the special acrylic picture stand. Second place gets a $150 Amazon e-gift card, 8,000 Jade, the limited portrait frame, the 30-day fortune charm, and the special acrylic picture stand. Third place, $100 Amazon e-gift card, 6,000 Jade, the limited portrait frame, the fortune charm, and the acrylic picture stand. Fourth place with the $70 Amazon e-gift card, the 4,000 Jade, the limited portrait frame, the fortune charm for 30 days, and the acrylic picture stand. Fifth to eighth get 2,000 Jade, the fortune charm, and the special acrylic picture stand. And 9th to 16th, which we had to say goodbye to yesterday, will receive a 30-day fortune charm. There's definitely a lot up for grabs here, and there's even some up for grabs just for watching. We've got a lucky draw available. We have multiple lucky draws throughout the tournament, so definitely stay tuned. You never know when we'll drop in and give you the chance to win some prizes of your own, as well as a gift code. So even if you're not feeling lucky, everyone viewing in the chat will be able to take something home with them to their Mahjong Soul Jianxi. Whew. Now, with that out of the way, are you ready for our first game, Ichigo?
I am so excited for this first game. I cannot wait to watch this incredible mahjong.
Well, I hope our players are too, because we are about to get underway on day 2. Let the semifinals begin. Oh,
Oh my god!
right off the bat! Alright, looks like our players are definitely ready. Let's switch over to Light Pink Yoshi's view because, wait, this, not only is this double Reachy, it's got 2 Dora. It's not Pinfu because of the red, but they're waiting on the 5-8. This is a really good weight to start out.
A 2-sided dealer. Wait, oh my god. Like, this is insane. Like, they could have even waited and shifted up to a pure double sequence, but it doesn't matter. This is 12,000 points minimum right now.
Let's see. Do our other players stand a chance on this one? Because double Reachy is not a guaranteed win. Looks like our players have been playing fairly safe. The only dangerous discard I've seen is the 8-pin from Paradigm, and even that was a Suji. I guess the 1-mon from Chris Gong on turn 4 was a little bit dangerous. But when a Reachy happens that early, it's hard to have enough safe tiles to really defend. Doesn't look like any of our other players are really that close to getting Tenpai themselves.
No, and I also want to point out that we can see actually 4 of the 5-mon and 8-mon in other people's hands. So there are still 4 left in the wall, but it can go to anyone at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think Paradigm would actually be more than happy to accept another 5 or 8-mon. So
yep,
also looking.
at least that means Yoshi won't win. Of course, Paradigm doesn't know that, but it is true that Paradigm could really use 5 or 8-mon here. I think in some situations we might see the 8-mon get discarded though.
Oh no, like this one right here, filling in that 2-4-mon middle weight,
Yeah,
gives him a better... Oh, this is hard.
It's Tenpai if Paradigm discards the 7. Yeah, so Paradigm's just gonna go straight towards. Their weight isn't as good. Looking for the 7 of characters, 7-mon. Only 2 of those left. But there it is! And this double Reachy present turns out to be it's a Greek gift. It's a Trojan horse. Paradigm finds an Uradora, and that's a manga, and Light Pink Yoshi ends up dealing in off the first hand of the game when it looks so good.
And that's why double Reachy doesn't always win. I cannot believe that happened. Light Pink Yoshi drew 3 of the 7-mons in that game, and that last one did end up dealing in.
Yeah, it looks like we're in for a treat today. Make sure to give a thumbs up to the stream so you don't miss any of this action, because if you're even 2 minutes late, you just missed a banger. You can also subscribe to the Mahjong Soul official channel so you'll get notifications when our streams are happening, especially this Saturday, the finals. That being said, East 2 looks like it's going to be a little bit slower, but I mean, Sparrowhawk is 1 away from Tenpai already. What are we looking at, Ichigo?
It definitely looks like a Pinfu hand. They also have the 1, 2, 3 of bamboo for a pure double sequence. So I think they're just waiting for Tenpai. I know maybe if it was later in the game where they were down points, they might try to actually discard the remaining pin tiles and mon tiles to go for a half flesh or full flesh. But in this situation, when points are pretty much flat and it's a new game, it's probably speed is what they're going for.
Yeah, I think they're very close to winning, and it's not like this is that cheap either, you know. The Pinfu, the double sequence, the dealer reach, they actually end up being slower. They're not first to Tenpai. Chris Gong gets the Tenpai. It's not that great of a weight, only a 2-mon weight, but nobody else knows that, right?
Well, 1 2-mon is out on the table in dealer's discards, but we did just see an Epot's Ron. And there it is.
Yep, Chris Gong catches the sumo here on the 2-mon. Not many available, but 1 is enough for Chris Gong to catch this 2,000 point hand, and Sparrowhawk This is twice now our dealers have drawn extremely promising hands, both value and speed, and twice they've been shut down by our non-dealer players here.
This just goes to show you that sometimes just taking the bad weight isn't such a bad weight.
That's true, especially if there aren't many tiles that improve the weight. You might just want to take it. Now we are going into East 3. Chris Gong has a little bit of a mess, but he does have 2 red dragons, and Light Pink Yoshi has an extra red dragon. It comes out right now. Chris Gong is going to take it. Not that much value here, but the Dora is 7-pin. Chris Gong has a 6-pin, might be able to use it. On the right, Paradigm is moving very fast. Already has Dora. Chris Gong does pick up a Dora in the meantime. But Paradigm is 1 away from Tenpai now. So pretty fast.
Paradigm discards the Dora.
Yeah.
Actually, because he's actually 1 away from 2, 3, 4 mixed triple sequences. But doesn't take it and just takes a quick Riichi.
Yeah, misses out on it here. Light Pink Yoshi draws the deal-in tile, but it fits in his hand nicely with the 6-7. So the 5 mana is going to fit in the 6-7, not dealt into Paradigm. Chris Gong, on the other hand, has an extra 2 mon, but that 4 mon might actually save him from dealing in.
Took the words right out of my mouth. That was a floating 2-mon, but would have probably dealt in if that 4-mon connector did not show up.
Yeah, instead Chris Gong 1 away from Tenpai. On the left, we haven't really talked about Sparrowhawk much, but they are 2 away from Tenpai, so they have a hand that might be able to fight this Riichi. It's a little bit slow. We'll see just what happens here. That's a good draw for Sparrowhawk. Gets the 1, 2, 3, but you think they'll be willing to fight this?
I don't know. I think it depends if they draw the 7-pin Dora, since that would fit into their hand nicely and give them a Pinfu weight. Oh, but looks like... I'm curious why Sparrowhawk discarded the 1 of bamboo instead of the 8 of circles. Yeah. Because the 8 pins... Keeping that as a much more dangerous tile, I feel, than the 1 of bamboo.
I think it's probably because Paradigm had already Riichi'd, so there was already the danger of dealing in. It's also close to the Dora, and I guess Sparrowhawk might want to still win with like a Tanyao and all simples. It's an option. Chris Gong gets caught here though with an extra 2-mon against 2 Riichis. It's just so hard, and the dealer curse continues. The dealer has not won a single hand. I mean, on the plus side or the negative side, depending on what you're feeling, that does mean the game is going very quickly. But we don't have any dealers winning big hands, even when they start with the best hands to start. Even a double Riichi wasn't enough.
I think Light Pink Yoshi is the only player on this table who hasn't won a hand yet, since everyone has just kept dealing into the person on their right every single time.
Well, maybe that means it's time for Light Pink Yoshi to get his turn. This is 4 pairs. See. 4 pairs for our dealer. What are you thinking about 7 pairs here?
Honestly, 7 pairs is not my favorite hand, but with a floating Honor Dora, I think that might be the best way to utilize this Dora and get value out of this hand.
Yeah, we've been noting that not just today, but also yesterday, how good the floating Dora is for 7 pairs, especially when it's an honor or a terminal, because it's so hard to use it in any other way.
Well, there's the 5th pair for a Paragon for dealer.
Yeah, Paradigm is doing quite well for themselves here. 1 away. I think the extra tiles are not too bad. Maybe even this East is a better weight for pairs. Yeah, Paradigm is going to switch it out there. But Sparrowhawk is first to Tenpai across the table. Just a Pinfu.
Yeah, Light Pink Yoshi also 1 away, so these hands are all coming together around mid-second row. Which is
Light Pink Yoshi not going to take the Pinfu, instead takes the red 5. guess it's just too dangerous to discard against Sparrowhawk, especially when it's a Dora. But it does mean his weight is going to be a little tougher. Although now, like after discarding the 2, we've seen all 4 of the 1 pin come out. So actually the weight is just as good. It's just this. Although who knows, maybe if Light Pink Yoshi had discarded the 5 pin, he would have got the 1 pin and won. Hard to say.
I also wanted to note that Chris Gong actually drew the 4 pin on Light Pink Yoshi's Ipatsu turn, but was able to shift up, discarding the 1 pin.
That's right.
So it went from a 1-2-3 to a 2-3-4.
What a switch. So, you know, maybe Light Pink Yoshi playing it a little safe, but I mean, it's hard to say based on the results, because if the 5 pin had dealt in with Dora, we would be saying, ooh, that was a dangerous discard. So in this case, it didn't quite work out, playing the safe option. But maybe in another case, it would have.
Also be the greedy play, right? One extra Han.
Exactly. Well, the other side was Pinfu, so it was the same amount of Han, but always Pinfu you lose Fu, right? Because Pinfu is a no Fu kind of hand. So yeah, it's true that the red Dora is worth more in the end. And Paradigm here already Tenpai on the left, 4-7. So this match has been moving at a blazing pace. I think this is the fastest match of the tournament. At least the fastest match of the playoffs.
Paradigm switches his weight to a 5-so south weight, hoping to trap someone when discarding the south.
Yeah, it is south round though, so it's a little less likely that somebody discards the south, you know, as long as they're paying attention. But it's definitely not a 0, as Paradigm collects the south. This also gives Paradigm another Han, as we mentioned. The south is the prevalent wind of the round here, so that's going to make their hand a good bit more expensive. Paradigm coming into this match in 3rd place, currently in 1st, a pretty strong favorite, maybe even for the whole championship at this point.
That deal-in from, I believe it was Chris Gog to Paradigm, actually makes things a little bit easier for Light Pink Yoshi and Sparrowhawk, because the points are now a little bit tighter.
Yep, that does bring both of them closer to striking range for 2nd and even 1st place, although Light Pink Yoshi losing his discard is going to be tough. Losing his dealer turn, I mean. Yeah.
Yes.
No more dealer for Yoshi. Ooh, excuse me. No more dealer for Yoshi. They've got a triplet of Dora here, but Light Pink Yoshi doesn't call it because he can't find Yaku to make with it.
Doesn't feel like going, just waiting on either North or Red Dragon.
Yeah, this is a
Making
tough
the riskier
spot.
play. Now, reminding viewers that Light Pink Yoshi came into the semifinals in 7th place, so just barely making the cutoff. So he does need these points to keep going, but there are still 3 games to play tonight, so losing one will not spell the end of Light Pink Yoshi's run.
Right, and so Light Pink Yoshi does find a Yaku now with the Red Dragon call. We see Sparrowhawk also moving towards an all simples, a Tanyao hand, by calling the Tuso and discarding the pair of North in their hand. This is going to be a pretty close race, I think. I think it means a lot more to Light Pink Yoshi, considering the value of his hand. But Sparrowhawk certainly wants a redeal here with a win. So definitely not meaningless to them either.
Waiting on some decisions. Paradigm having a outside weight on the 1-2-3 of bamboo. So maybe might be looking to change shapes.
There they are, 3 of bamboo weight. No Riichi though, no Yaku either, so Paradigm cannot roan, but they still can sumo. They still can draw the tile themselves.
And Chris Gong drawing the last 7 mon, filling his pure double sequence shape, so that's unlikely to come out. So the only tile Light Pink Yoshi can win on is the very last Dora, which is still somewhere in the wall.
mean, I think that's pretty lucky, all things considered. We'll see if Paradigm changes their weight here. Can go to the pawn weight, the triplet weight on 1-so and 8-man. What do they believe in 3-so? Oh, they don't. Not a 3-so believer. It's going to put a lot of pressure on Light Pink Yoshi, though. Fortunately, they drew a 4-man, which is safe against that Ricci. Sparrowhawk getting Tenpai on 4-pin. 3 players Tenpai, Chris Gong 1 away. A lot of pressure on this table right now.
This is such a stressful situation, and I think that does fill Chris Gong's shape.
Yeah, this is a very difficult discard.
An extremely hard decision right now, because it would be a single tile weight, I think it is.
Ah, they switched to the 5-8. They went for the double pair. It's like a 2-sided pair weight, the 5, 6, 7, 8. Pays off.
Hard to read the shapes from the side, but it absolutely pays off.
Yeah. It can be hard reading tiles from the side version. Yeah, Ipatsu for Chris Gong. So that's a huge turn of events. Chris Gong now in first. Light Pink Yoshi losing the Ricci stick. Sparrowhawk dealing in, going down into 3rd place. Paradigm still holding out in 2nd. A very close game, other than Light Pink Yoshi, who needs a lot to catch up here. But everyone is around 30,000. It is to be noted that the game does end, even if nobody's above 30,000. The game will still end. It's a little difference to the ranked matches in Mahjong Soul.
Going into Chris Gong's dealership, I would say that was a key win, not just because he won the hand on the Ipat's turn, but it's because he got directly from his direct competitor Paradigm. So that swing was even bigger than if he had gotten it from, let's say, Light Pink Yoshi or Sparrowhawk.
Right. I don't think Chris Gong would be in first place otherwise.
Definitely not.
And that was 4 players Tenpai, so any player could have won there. It was a huge fight. It looks like Paradigm might be ready to come right back. 3-6-man wait. Both of those are in Chris Gong's hand. It doesn't matter. He pot sumo for Paradigm, and they are well back in first place. We saw the cut in. It's going to be at least Mangan, and there it is, the Uradora. That pushes it up to a Haneman. 3,000, 6,000, and that is a huge lead, especially because Paradigm is the last dealer. Nobody else has a dealer chance to try and make this comeback.
That was absolutely insane, considering there was only one left of each in the wall. You know, sometimes when the wall favors you, you just gotta accept the luck and take the win.
So we're looking at an interesting hand here in South 4. Paradigm has a pair of Souths. Make that a triplet. Goes for the quick call. Now, in our format, even if the dealer wins in South 4 in first place, they do have to still keep playing until the dealer doesn't win or is not Tenpai at draw.
And this goes back to what we talked about a little bit earlier, Tips, is when you're in first place, how much do you want to go for points? Like how many more points do you want to get because of the points being halved at the end of this whole evening?
Right. So it looks like Paradigm's going to keep going for more points. They're not folding yet. They're not giving up. You know, Sparrowhawk across the table has 3 Dora. A lot of pairs and triplets, but one of those pairs, the 3-so, will deal in here.
This is a relatively cheap hand for being a dealer hand, only 2,900 points. South Dora 1.
That's right.
But again, every point matters.
So as we look at these hands, I see a lot of pairs and triplets. This seems to be one of those pair triplet toitsuba, as they call it in Japanese, where you get a lot of the same tiles together and not that many sequences.
I would agree with you, especially because Sparrowhawk just discarded a red 5, maybe going for all triplets or 7 pairs.
Yep, but Paradigm does get the 6-0 here. So it looks like, I guess, the sequences worked out after all. Paradigm being the one hand that was really moving more towards sequences. Chris Gong had it a little bit, but Chris Gong's sequences were kind of overlapping, so he had a lot of pairs in the sequences. Well, yeah, Paradigm makes it happen. Continues to push ahead. This might end up with Paradigm in first place overall, but like Sparrowhawk was in second. Sparrowhawk is in this game. We'll have to check on Suzumi after this game to see just where they placed, to see if Paradigm is actually going to be first after all this.
Chris Gong, starting with 7 terminal tiles, decided not to go for 13 orphans, but then ends up drawing an 8th, had 2 pairs.
Yeah, at least one of those pairs for Chris Gong is a value honor, a Yakuhai, so the and Chris Gong gets the triplet of it. So Chris Gong can end this hand quickly. That will put him into second place above Sparrowhawk. So I think Chris Gong is fine with a quick 1,000 points here.
And Yoshi just wants to win anything just to get some more point value, but with everyone opening, I think it might be a lost cause here.
Yeah, I mean, Yoshi has the skeleton as the outline of a very valuable hand, that mixed triple sequence fully outside hand with the 7, 8, 9s, but it's still about 3 or 4 tiles away from doing that. It's only 2 tiles away from Tenpai, should he be willing to take a cheaper hand, but to actually get the real value, it's 3 or 4 tiles.
Right, and the 4 of bamboo is what connects to the 2 of bamboo Dora, which Paradigm draws right now.
Yeah, and Sparrowhawk has a couple of the other ones, so not too many Tuso Dora remaining. Only 1 in the wall.
Sparrowhawk has a very valuable hand right now. Tanyao, or All Simples, Dora 3, Mangan. Yep. Oh, but Chris Gong disconnects. What's happening here?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
The game will give him some time to come back. If we catch it in time, the players can inform our referee, and they can also be instructed to pause the game. But an informing does have to be made. A notification does have to be made. Of course, we are on a 5-minute delay here on the stream, so by the time we see it, it's already been 5 minutes. Let's hope Chris Gong is doing okay. Hopefully they return to the game and aren't disconnected for too long. Sparrowhawk not choosing to take their Tenpai across the table. Instead, cutting the 7 so Sparrowhawk is not Tenpai. Gonna play it a little slower and try and use both Dora.
Light Pink Yoshi interestingly decides to cut his 1-2 Mon shape.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision. Light Pink Yoshi is a little bit stuck, kind of waffling between a lot of different answers because he's just not drawing the tiles he needs. Well, Paradigm takes Tenpai. It's a cheaper Tenpai, but it still has a Dora and All Simples for 2 Han. And, of course, the redeal. Chris Gong returns. We're back in action. I don't think Chris Gong's missed too many big tiles, although he might be upset about not having that 5-so in hand right now.
That's what I was thinking. But there's a 2-mon that just came out.
Come back to get a deal in tile and then deal in that tile. Oh no.
It's almost like the show is scripted.
Well, Chris Gong isn't quite out of it. It's not quite out of it. With 2 repeat counters or 2 Honba on the table, that's an extra 600 points for any winner. We've got a 4,000 point difference here. So 3 Han will do it for Chris Gong. And we'll get him into second.
30. So 3 Han 30, so Riichi Pinfu +1 would be enough. Maybe 3 Han 40 would be very nice as well.
Yep. As for Light Pink Yoshi, our underdog this game, both in the standings and in this current game, his hand is not looking that interesting yet, but maybe Shadows of 6, 7, 8 mixed triples, that could be a Hanemon hand that gets him to come back. We also kind of see 6, 7, 8 in Paradigm's hand as our favorite for this current match. So two players kind of looking at the same hand, looking for the same tiles. Sparrowhawk across the table is also has... Sparrowhawk also has a really fast hand, although it's going to be hard to see them use both Dora.
Right, I think it's more likely to draw the 3-pin and then toss the 5. However, if they get both the 3-pin and the 6-pin, that would have been okay, but decides to toss the 1-pin.
Yeah, it looks like Sparrowhawk's given up on the regular 2-pin Dora and is more willing to play with the red 5-pin. They are 1 away from Tenpai, although this 1 away for Sparrowhawk also makes them lose the 5-pin Dora as well. Light Pink Yoshi cashing in on some Dora here, though. Looks like Yoshi is 2 away from Tenpai.
You know what they say with mixed triple sequences, sometimes you have to close one eye, turn your head around, and like really hope and pray for one good draw before you see them. But I think we're getting there.
There it is, the 6-pin. That is one of the good draws. I think Light Pink Yoshi's gonna need 2 more to make it happen.
But that is one of his favorite tiles, the 3-pin. I wonder if he'll keep it. Nope, decides not worth it this time, keeping the outside edge weight of the 1-2 Manzu.
That's right, a little bit of Light Pink Yoshi trivia right there. There's a 6 of dots, maybe willing to take just the fastest hand possible. Even without mixed triple sequence, now that it's got the red 5, all insides, or all simples, could still reach Mangan, and with some Uradora, maybe Haneman.
Is now 1 away, decides to cut the more dangerous looking 6-pin and keeping that 1 Mon in his hand for a bit of a safe tile going forward.
Yeah, I guess less worried about the efficiency and more locking in on the big hand that we talked about at the beginning, the 6, 7, 8 mixed triples. Sparrowhawk?
You called it. You absolutely called it.
Yeah, we see Sparrowhawk has discarded the 1-so, and so now that they have the 2-so and the 3-so, it's Furiten. And like near the edge of the hand, so they might not get all simples for it. So Sparrowhawk discarding the 2-so and probably the 3-so, yeah. This is coming down to the wire.
Yes, and Paradigm also 1 away for potential 6, 7, 8 mixed triple sequences.
So it looks like both of them... It's pretty rare to see 2 players go for the same mixed triple and for both of them to get it. Of course, that only happens on a double run, so we'll see which of these 2 players gets it. Alright, well, Paradigm...
Oh, but gets
doesn't
the
quite
9-pin.
get it. But at least gets Tenpai. Takes it. Sparrowhawk takes it. That's a second Tenpai. Light Pink Yoshi falling behind here in the speed race. That's not Tenpai. It's also really dangerous. We'll see if Yoshi's willing to discard it with only 2 tiles left by the time it's his turn. Dora! I mean, that's the last Dora, so it's a little safer, but still pretty dangerous. It comes out.
Paradigm must be very upset, though. Discarding 3 Doras.
Right. And Yoshi draws the deal-in tile, avoids the deal-in because, well, Yoshi's not Tenpai. No reason to push here. But that still kind of sucks because Yoshi is going to still be in 4th, at least for Yoshi there. Sparrowhawk and Paradigm, the rich getting richer on this one. Chris Gong also falling off a little bit, not being Tenpai. So Chris Gong now basically looking at Mangan. It went from 1,000 points to a 3-han hand, and now basically a 4-han hand or a really big Mangan.
So just some quick point calculation. If Yoshi gets a Yakuman right here, that would only be enough to put them... That would be enough to put them in first place if he tsumos, because Paradigm is the dealer. However, if he wins a Yakuman direct from any other player, it will not be enough to overtake Paradigm.
Yeah, 32,000 points, even with the extra 900 from the repeat counters, the Honba. Not going to cut it, although I don't think Yoshi has the Yakuman hand here, so we're probably not going to have to worry about that.
Just want to put some good flow in for Yoshi.
That's right. Our other players here, Chris Gong and Paradigm, have a very fast hand, both very sequence-based. They might end up looking for the same tiles. Chris Gong has that leftover red 5-so, that he's looking to connect, especially with a 4 or a 6. Sparrowhawk is moving more towards an outside kind of hand, but Sparrowhawk's a little bit slow. But yeah.
Paradigm here fills that 7 of characters, the 7 mon, and is now 1 away from Tempai. It is a very wide Tempai. He can take the 3-6 pin or the 1-4-7 of bamboo, and if he takes the 1-4, if Paradigm draws the 1-4-7, ends up with a pin fu shape, but even without, you still get the extra fu despite the lack of the han.
Right.
As we were talking about earlier.
And so Chris Gong will deal in if he discards that excess 5-so from his hand. Very dangerous situation for him. Sparrowhawk probably going to look to fold here. Paradigm might push against Light Pink Yoshi, but I don't think a 2-so or a 5-so is going to come out from him. This is Tempai. But Chris Gong is not going to be tempted. Yoshi sumos it, but no Uradora, which means it's not going to be enough. Yoshi really looking for the Uradora there. Probably 2 even to get out of last place.
Yeah, that 1 Urador would have taken that 5,200 point hand, made it into an 8,000.
Oh, that's true. Even 1 Uradora would have been enough to get to 3rd.
But just wasn't enough.
Yeah, so this match went a little bit more slowly at the end, but is still overall an extremely fast game. Paradigm taking the first place with 36.2, Sparrowhawk in second with 3.6, Chris Gong in third with minus 13.2, and Light Pink Yoshi is going to have to do some work at minus 26.6.
So I just want to recap for some of our players who don't play in person or a lot or know how the score calculation works. Our placement bonus, or otherwise known as UMA, is 15.5. So you take the score they have, so from 25,000 points, and then so we'll use Sparrowhawk, for example. They are 1.4 points away from 25,000 or from 25. So they got a plus 5 to that to get the plus 3.6. So they got a minus 1.4 from their actual raw points, and then plus 5 from the placement.
That's right. Lessons with Ichigo, a tournament player herself. Here we are in our table 2, the other table here. This is just the first game of the semifinal. Still 2 games to go. Still a lot of game to be played here. And we start with Vactive and Bobrick splitting the red dragons down the middle, as well as a single copy of a white dragon. So that the right side of their hand very symmetrical, although the rest of their hand pretty different.
I think I want to point out real quickly, coming in, that Suzume is currently in 4th with only 4,400 points, coming into the semifinals in 1st place. So this will wildly change the standings, I'm assuming, going forward.
Suzume has 1 more dealer left. So, I mean, maybe Suzume catches up here. With 1 dealer, anything can happen. But as it is now, definitely Paradigm will be ending in 1st place. With starting in 3rd and getting the 1st place in game number 1. So we'll see if Suzume can make any comebacks here, or whether the game continues to play out as is. This looks like definitely has the chance to be a very explosive hand. Look at Bobrick collecting another 1 for the 1-mon. 1, 2, 3, and Bobrick is now 1 away.
This is a crazy hand, actually, because even though the red dragon has not been cut, if Bobrick reaches this hand, it actually might come out of Vactive's hand as potentially a safe tile because he has 2 of them.
Yeah, actually Vactive, even on that current Ricci, has no safe tiles on Suzume's 258-so Ricci. Vactive has 6 tiles that deal in, actually. This is the least safe hand you could have.
So maybe this is when we see this red dragon come out.
Yeah, almost surely. Although, with that kind of draw, yep. And that makes Bobrick Tempai even scarier hand, perhaps. Actually, I'm not completely sure who's the scarier. Suzume has the Ricci with a chance of Uradora. Bobrick just has 3 Dora hidden. So both very scary hands, and even V active here is 1 away from Tempai, so we could see a 3-way battle. That's a
It
strange
honestly
tile.
just might be. So Boberick is, at least for our view, showing Mangon. But again, Suzume, Ricci plus Green Dragon, potential for Ura. So you never know.
Yeah, this is so hard for V active. You can understand why they took so long. And in fact, they're going to actually step back, slow their hand down, and play safer tiles.
That 2-mon comes out is safe, but then if he cuts that 2-3-4 shape, the 4 deals into Boberick, so it is dangerous all around.
Oh, that makes things even more dangerous for everybody. Suzume with the con, Boberick with 3 more Dora. The active finds a draw, but yeah, I think this is it. I don't see Boberick.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, Boberick has to fight.
Boberick goes in, deals in. Fortunately for Boberick, no Uradora hit. Unfortunately, the con makes it 70 Fu, so it does make it quite a bit more expensive, and Suzume has started their comeback already. Boberick definitely...
It went from 2,000.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Boberick is definitely the most emotive player in our top 16. Even from quarterfinals day, Boberick was using the emotes extremely generously. Our other players would use maybe 1 every 2 games. Boberick will use about 20 per game. Maybe 30.
Boberick is a player after my own heart then. I love those emotes. If you have them, you might as well use them.
I agree.
Oh, Boberick ongoing or tripling up the 6 of characters. Nice shape completion for them.
Yeah, this is really good for dealer here, Boberick. I think, it's 1 away. Even before this 8-mon draw, it was 1 away, but now it's an improved 1 away. A lot more tiles will make Boberick Tenpai. Do we have any fighters on the board? Nobody else looks quite close enough.
Suzume, looking to go for a half-flush looking hand, has a pair of the East, but that is not value high, so, you know, just honestly just hoping for maybe a half-flush plus the red 5.
Yeah, definitely with 3 extra honor tiles, it looks a little slow, but, you know, that's 2 calls very fast. It might be speeding up a lot faster than we thought. Red Panda connects on the 5-so Dora with this 4-so. But still, 4 pairs and no completed 3 shapes, 3 tile shapes. So 7 pairs still looking like the best option for Red Panda, but we'll see what they do here.
V active actually, 4 pairs and not a single completed shape. So it sounds like another one of these pair heavy hands.
Yep, it's the same lay, just like Red Panda. An extra Dora for Boberick. Let's see if he plans on using it. Definitely could. Yeah, goes ahead and holds on to it.
If Boberick somehow manages to draw a 6 or 4 of bamboo, it would likely cut the 2-4 of the circle shape.
I think Boberick could just Tenpai. Yeah, Boberick can Tenpai here now that they got the 3 of dots. This is really nice. Huge weight. A very non-standard 3-sided weight. These weights are all kind of strange. And Red Pen is holding 4 of Boberick's winning tiles.
But again, Suzume is going for a half flush, so pretty much any bamboo tiles that they draw, they're going to probably discard because Boberick's not showing any value, right? They just Tanya out all simples.
Although the tiles Boberick are waiting for are all very close to the Dora, so that might slow Suzume from discarding them. Especially the Dora itself. I don't think Suzume would discard that one. But we could
Probably
see...
not.
Yeah, we could see maybe a 4 or an 8 being discarded by Suzume. Scary spot for Red Panda now. Because of that obvious half flush. How close is Suzume to Tenpai? Yeah, Red Panda doesn't want any of that. Oh, tough spot for Boberick as well.
Ooh, the Manzu are very dangerous. Oh, another emote, very on theme.
Yeah, Boberick's happy about that one. Red Panda can actually get pretty close to Tenpai here. It's just a matter of if Red Panda discards 8-8 as their pair when they're getting to Tempai, it's all over. Oh, now's the decision. Moment of truth.
2-pin is another option.
Good
which he
evasion here. Good decision from Red Panda, picking the 2-pin. Coming out safely, not dealing in. Suzume 1 away from Tempai. Red Panda has that 1 mon. It's a little bit dangerous now.
VX 5 the east, the sides not willing to cut it.
Yeah, Suzume makes
And
Tempai.
now it's very interesting actually, because statistically after 2 calls you're probably in Tempai. So I think that's why a lot of these players who are very high level players decide to back off. Even though this half flush is not in the Dora suit, it's still a half flush. It still has guaranteed at least 2 Han value plus a showing red 5.
That's right. Ooh, and it comes out! Bobrick collects massively off Suzume there. We had no cut-in trigger, but that is basically a Mangan. In a lot of rules it would be rounded up. Just 400 points short of a Mangan puts Suzume in the negatives on this game.
What a big swap from their incoming first place. 8
Ooh.
terminal tiles for Suzume. I think they're gonna go for it.
Yeah, especially
that
at
7-pin
minus
cut.
2400. I think you're right. It looks like that's the move. Red Panda with an extremely glorious first draw. Red 5 so to fit in between 4 and 6, 7, 8. Almost couldn't ask for anything better. Red Panda might even be able to make the full straight, the Itsu in the Sozu suit, 1 to 9.
That would be incredibly valuable and worth 2 Han if kept closed.
Yeah, and Viactive here pairing up their Dora, so it looks like a lot of players getting what they want. We'll see if that continues to be a pattern as we move forward. Viactive pairing up the Green Dragon now even. Very nice. Suzume actually needs Green Dragon in order to finish their 13 orphans. So it looks like wherever that last Green Dragon is, it's going to make a big effect on this game.
Absolutely, and V Active really wants the Green Dragon because if pawned, it would be Tempai on... Well, they have a couple options.
That's right. But with the 2 Dora, any option is good for them. As long as they can find that last one. Yeah, I mean, Bobrick doesn't hate the last Green Dragon either. Of course, Bobrick wouldn't know that the other 2 are in Viactive's hand, but... Well, I think Bobrick would normally like it. Yeah, Viactive just moving right on forward. If the Green Dragon comes out now, Viactive is going to clean up.
The other option in this is to actually discard the 2 Green Dragons if a very good middle floater tile comes up and change the Yaku to all simples.
That's right. It's a little bit slow. Actually, Bobrick must sense something's up because they didn't call the White Dragon at all. Maybe already worried about that Green Dragon? Yes, there's 2 reasons. One is the 13 orphans on the right, and then the other is the open call on the left. So both combined must set Bobrick's spidey senses on full alert here.
Yeah, Red Panda getting a triplet of the South, which is a value win for them. So they might even start to switch over to a half flush, especially with that 2-so draw, but actually decides to just Ricci on a very nice 3-sided weight.
Yeah, I think they're afraid of dealing in on the 9, so they're trying to go as quickly as possible here. It is true that Suzumi's discards kind of look like a half flush, so maybe not necessarily 13 orphans. It's a lot easier to decipher when you are watching with everyone's tiles than when you're actually playing.
Yes, and Viactive decides to fold by cutting the triplet of 8 of characters.
Yep. Saves themselves from discarding a 3-so and dealing in. Of course, there are more tiles, and there's one of them. Panda collects big time here with a sumo on Bobrick's dealer. Bobrick upset, you can see the emote. That's a Mangan for Red Panda. Of course, Red Panda... Go ahead.
think just takes the 8,000 points and is very happy with that. With what I believe 2 more hands to go, can now maybe look for second place.
Right, and Red Panda playing the most fitting character for that name, Yuzu. Feels like
Our
it was
favorite
written in the
Kaneki.
cards. Right. So we are running down to the end of this game. All the scores are very far away from each other, so a lot of points are going to need to be made here in order to change any positions right now.
Suzume really wanting to make as much value as they can with this dealer turn, needing to make up some kind of points. Just
Yep.
because they have that first place buffer coming into the semifinals does not mean that they can tank such a large fourth.
Right, and you can see them holding on to the Dora here for a while. Really trying to make any value they can. We'll see if they continue to hold the Dora, because this is a useful tile. But yep, they're going to keep holding the Dora to try and pair it up or get any sort of value, because the hand right now has no value on it. 6-0 draw for Red Panda. That's not bad. We'll see what they do with it. It's not the greatest draw. It does not go back. 8 Mon from the hand is discarded. The active across the table has 2 different red 5s. One of them is isolated, the other fits perfectly in their Pinzu shape. And on the left, Bobrick seems to be making a hand. They're 2 away, but all their shapes are really bad. So it's kind of close to Tempai, but Bobrick has to draw the perfect tiles.
Red Panda getting a very nice 2-so, maybe looking for a 3 concealed triplets, but ends up pawning and looking for an all simples hand. Could also even go all triplets if either the 2-pin or 4-mon is found.
We will see just what happens, because it's getting to crunch time. Like, at least for this hand. Maybe not for the whole game. We are getting to South Fork, but for this hand, we are getting to what they call end game. Well, when a lot of the players are either 1 away or they're Tempai, and any discard could end up dealing in. But we still do not have any Tempai players yet, so we're not quite there.
VAct has a lot of floating honor tiles, probably still looking to go for this half flesh, and Suzume pulling an amazing 7-so edge weight, but needing to discard the 8-pin.
That gives Red Panda first Tempai. 2-pin, 4-mon. Pawn weight. Suzume holding that really bad 4-mon right now. Must know something is up, because they discarded the 6-pin instead of the 4-mon here. Still, it's going to be tough to avoid this. Would have to get a 5 so that they can discard a 7-mon instead. Oh, get it! They get it!
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happens. And then will they reach and take the 4-so middle weight?
There's
and
only one left.
2 of them have been discarded.
3 of them.
Crazy.
But this is what you got to do, I think. There's not really much movement, because you can see 3 of the 6-so up here in Red Panda's corner. Hard to really make a change. And 3 of the 2-so here. Of course, Suzume doesn't know about the...
But also, there's also only 1 of each of Red Panda's tiles in the wall remaining as well. So it's 1 versus 2. It's not great for either of them, honestly.
Yes. That is true. Sometimes as the dealer, maybe just the Reachy is to scare people from pushing their hand. Red Panda has not folded though. Red Panda keeps going. They can change their weight here, but it's super Furiten, and there's really not that many copies of 3-6 either. So yeah, they don't do that.
No, takes the chance to win off anyone.
The 7 comes around again, but not the 4. There's no more copies of the 4. If the active uses the 5-mon that's discarded from Red Panda to be safe. Bobrick might be able to play this. Nah, Bobrick's gonna play safe here as well. Because we know there's gonna be a redeal if it goes to draw, since the dealer's Reached, so we know the dealer's Tempai. A call is made from Viact.
A call is made, but not to Tempai. I'm curious if that was his switch Kaite or the last draw, but doesn't matter because Suzume deals into Red Panda.
Yeah, a decent sized hand for Red Panda, but not enough to get second place quite yet. It is gonna put Suzume out of their dealer turn though, and even further into the hole, so that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be hard to come back from. Over 30,000 points out of even third place right now. Red Panda very close to second place, only 8,000, and with the dealer turn, I think, yeah, 7,700. That's 40 food,
77
3 Han.
exactly. Yeah. And finishing a shape right off the bat with their second draw. 6, 7, 8.
That's going to be pretty nice. I wonder if Red Panda will open their hand or not.
For an all simples hand, perhaps maybe if they pair up the Dora.
Yeah,
I think that's the most like dangerous talent you want to be able to use.
sounds very reasonable to me. The active on the right, still no help, but they already have a triplet and 2 pairs. So we might see the active going for a pawn type hand, maybe open calling. Bobrick pairs up a second set, got the 7-pin and now the 2-pin, and down to 1 pair, the 2-pin gets discarded. Bobrick, interestingly, keeping this east tile. I guess they want to be a bit safe about this.
I think them sensing that they are in second place, but Dealer is the one that's in third place trying to chase them down, maybe wanting a safe tile just in case Dealer is faster or might reachy.
Yeah, Suzume on the left is 1 away from Tempai. Definitely not a 30,000 point hand. So it won't get them out of last place, but they're probably just going to play for games 2 and 3. At this point, it's really hard to get out of last place.
Let's see. Red Panda keeping this Dora, but really having no connection to it. We see 2 other Dora in Bobrick and Viac's hand, and all or 3 of the 9 Mons are in Bobrick's hand, and 1 is in Suzume's discard pile. So it's actually going to be very hard to connect to this Dora.
Yeah,
Best chance might be 7.
Extremely hard to see because it's all in players' hands. Nobody's called a single tile yet. Sometimes it's just it's just unfortunate that you can't make it happen and you have no idea. There is something to be said about the art of sort of reading what players have in their hands based on the discards though. We can see 2 Doras coming out, Viact and Bobrick back to back.
What's also interesting to note is that Red Panda is what we call overshaped right now. Oh, and the backfire for Bobrick drawing another Dora. Chiori. But Red Panda has too many shapes. A pair of the 4-mon, the 6-8 middleweight, the 2-3 pin, and the 6-7-8 pin. And then 2 pairs of non-connecting So tiles. So he'll have to discard one of these shapes.
Yep. And it might just be the Dora here with this draw from Red Panda, the 5-mon. Now he's going to hold on to the Dora. I mean, it's fairly safe now. It's safe against 2 players. Although, I guess, ironically enough, yeah, Red Panda gets it out right on time because Suzume definitely could have been waiting for that, for that Dora had Red Panda been even 1 turn later. Bobrick might end up dealing in here.
He has a lot of extra honor tiles, terminal tiles that he can save, which discards from the Anko of 9.
Ooh, Khan. So interesting about the Khan is that because Rinshan, or after a Khan, is a Yaku, Red Panda could have won if they had drawn the 1 of dots off the Khan. So a con like that is actually really nice because it gives you an extra chance of winning that your hand normally doesn't have. You can see they could not win on Bobrick's 1-pin discard, only if they had sumoed it off the con.
A con from dealer is also a little bit dangerous because it might make other people think that they are now Tenpai or they are waiting to win.
Right, and indeed Red Panda is Tenpai. So no deception there. It did give Suzume one more Dora, so I think Suzume is kind of okay with the con. Still not enough to get out of last place, I think, but points are points when you are in first place overall and you're trying to hold on to top 4.
There's an upgrade on the 5-mon, so swapping from a regular 5 to a red one.
Yep, a few more points here for Red Panda, but still only waiting for the 4-pin. There is another 1-pin in the wall. If Red Panda gets it as the last tile, that's also a Yaku, so Red Panda can win on the last tile. But this 5-so actually doesn't deal into Suzume because they don't have a Yaku. That 9-pin in their hand means they do not have all simples. But Viac doesn't discard it anyway. Gonna be safe about that. Is the 1-pin? That's the 1-pin! That deals in! Oh, but Viac is gonna be super safe. And doesn't deal in.
The second green dragon.
Yeah, only on the last
that
tile.
been so good.
The last tile only dealing, that would have been crazy. But yeah, Viact has enough save tiles to not have to make a dangerous or strange play like that. And so Red Panda continues their all last run. Now they are definitely well within second place opportunity.
Yeah, if you hover over the points, I think, is 39 enough?
Yes, they're 3,700 points behind. Yeah, as the dealer, that's basically, it's like a
240, I believe.
Yeah, 240. 3,900.
So that's not even that big of a hand that you need.
2 Han 40 fu, not 2 fu 40.
Yeah.
2 fu.
You can't even get 2 fu.
You can't. 2 Han 40
Oh my
fu.
god. I would love a 40 Han hand. what is that? Triple Yakuma?
That's when you
plus 4 Han somewhere.
You con and everything is Dora. That's how you make 40 Han. You just con 3 times and it's all Dora and Yurichi, and then everything on the bottom is all Dora as well. Bang, 40 Han.
Oh, but that's only 27. I guess if you have
you have a con, right?
That's 30.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Wow.
Anyway.
Oh, plus the 4 con Yakumon. Okay, yeah, that would probably put you at 40.
So Red Panda actually doesn't look at the 789 mixed triples here. It is only 1 copy of the 8-so, to be fair, and 2 copies of the 9-so were already discarded. So I guess Red Panda didn't believe in that. It is a pretty long shot. The Red Panda is going to keep the 4-so instead. Maybe we'll get a 2-3-4 or a 3-4-5 Sanchoku. The mixed triples. Still pretty unlikely, but you know, if Red Panda wins anything here with the 2 red Dora, it'll work out for them.
Because this hand is just quite fast, honestly. I think he's just going for full efficiency here. Yeah,
out comes the Dora from V-Act because Red Panda did it first. That makes it really safe for that 1 turn. Triple 5s for Red Panda. Very difficult discard, but just the floater tile, the 4-so out from the back of the hand. Suzume connects on the 4 with the 3. A lot of different options here. Maybe 1 3-pin. No, it just goes right back out, the 3-mon. Gonna keep the 1
Says
3.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
Very interesting draw for Red Panda here. Can maybe cut the 8-pin or the 4-mon to get a double-sided weight, guaranteeing the use of the red 5-mon.
Right.
Which is what he does.
Yeah, Red Panda's gonna guarantee the 5-mon in hand. But a lot less tiles give Red Panda Tenpai now. Although, as you mentioned, if Red Panda had gone the other way, a lot of the Tenpais they would have gotten revolves around discarding 5 mon. And I don't think they want to do that here.
Unbeknownst to Red Panda, 3 of the 3 mons are in VX's hand.
Yep.
1 of the 6 mons are in VX's hand, 1 of the 6 mons in Bobrick's hand, and 2 in Suzume's hand. So there's only 1 3-mon left for him to draw in the wall.
No, it's here. It's right there.
Oh, it's at the discard!
Yeah,
oh,
it's in
sorry.
Suzume's
Good catch.
discard.
Good catch.
Yeah, so,
That's crazy.
Red Panda's weight is actually completely cooked. It's completely barren. It's dried up. At least from the wall. You might get it from one of these other players. Especially if Suzume draws a 5. Or maybe
Absolutely.
even that. Yeah.
Or even an 8 at this point.
True. Well, it seems like Red Panda's been thinking for a very long time. Their timer is running super short. Bobrick gets a nice draw. Bobrick is 1 away. Yeah. That's not bad for Bobrick. V-Act is a little bit further than the rest of our players here. Everyone else is 1 away. There's the 8! Out comes the 6, but it's a little early. It's a little early for Red Panda. Cheese it with with the no Yaku side. Like there's an option to cheat it with the 7-8. Obviously you can't cut the 9 when you do it like that, but perhaps cutting a different tile. But Red Panda's gonna go for the no Yaku, just trying to get Tenpai so they can get their dealer back. That's pretty reasonable.
Bobrick, silent Tenpai or Dama 10 for a 5-8 pin.
Yeah, that's actually pretty scary. Red Panda has a lot of them, but oh, there's one from Suzume. Bobrick with the emote. Thank you, collecting. It's not worth much, but it ends the game.
That's crazy because our dealer, Red Panda, had 5 of the deal-in tiles.
A lot of
5 out of
copies.
8 potential tiles.
You only need 1. You
only need
one.
So unfortunately, that does mean Red Panda is not able to climb his way up to 2nd place. V-Act wins the Hanchan with 55,700 points, plus 45.7. Bobrick in 2nd at plus 10.5. Red Panda, a very reasonable minus 5.5. And Suzume, unfortunately, at minus 50.7.
Woo! So these have been, so we had 1 fairly fast game and 1 long game. We've got a mix of variety. So you've seen both kinds of Mahjong in round number 1 here.
Very exciting, though. I mean, we started off with an Oya dealer, double Reachy.
Yep, it started out really hot, but in the end, I mean, Light Pink Yoshi took a 4th in that game. Couldn't even get that hand of all the hands not to get. Couldn't even get that one. Very unfortunate.
It is. I think if I am recalling correctly, I think Light Pink Yoshi went what we call yakitori, or could not win a single hand that game.
Right, named after you're cooked like a chicken. You're cooked like a grilled chicken. What it feels like when you don't win a single hand. But in the meantime, as we get our results from the first games collated, we would like to offer you guys the chance to win some prizes of your own. We have our
prizes.
First lucky draw, exactly. The live stream lucky draw, the first one of the semifinals. You've got to leave your comment here for a chance to win the fortune charm. I'm going to come up with a question, and you better have a good answer for me if you want this fortune charm. Now, if you do win, make sure to contact us by email at mjs.cs@yo-star.com. So you will need your YouTube ID and your Mahjong Soul ID. So the YouTube ID is your @ your channel name is. Even if you don't make YouTube videos, you will still have an @ user. And for your Mahjong Soul ID, it's in your friends list. If you go to your friends list, it'll say my ID. It'll have some numbers there. That's your Mahjong Soul ID. Now, the question that we have for our first fortune charm. Who is your favorite Mahjong Soul female character? Let's see. Who do we have here? Ichigo, who do you like?
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to decide, and I have almost all of the Sakura Path female characters since I love them all. But I think I have to say my number one best girl, my favorite waifu, has to be Yui Yagi.
Ooh, a Yui Yagi fan. There's a lot of those. I remember on our previous anniversary stream, we had a little survey, and Yui Yagi was extremely popular, both in usage and votes.
I am missing Yui's, like, one of Yui's outfits, and I have all of the other ones, and it is bothering me so much because I wasn't playing Mahjong Soul when it was released.
Oh.
And so I've just been waiting for them to make a comeback this whole time.
Well, maybe you will see it again in a future rerun. As for me, I like Sarah. I've said Sarah since the very beginning. I believe she was very early on one of the releases, and she's still been my favorite since then. You know, she's a little bit foreign. She comes from the south. You know, I was hoping there would be another character from the homeland. Maybe we'll see one soon from Sarah's homeland. Her homeland is with the nomads. They've been in a lot of the lore. Now we do have a winner. Congratulations to Empty, whose favorite female character is Eve. We have an Eve fan. Definitely a name. She's not that new, but she's relatively new compared to all the characters. So it's good to see some support for all of our Mahjong Soul characters out there. Congratulations, Empty. You have won.
Congrats, and please don't forget to email us, because if you don't email, the prize will go unclaimed. We don't want that to happen.
Make sure to send your Mahjong Soul ID as well as your YouTube ID in that email. mjs.cs@yo-star.com.
Now I'm going to highlight some other favorite characters from the chat real quickly. I saw a lot of Momos. I saw a lot of Fuji as well. So I think those are the top two that I noticed as
Fuji fans, huh?
people were scrolling.
I do like Fuji. All right. So we can see our results. We actually were able to look at both games. So we see Viact taking first place in that last game we watched. Bobrick second, Red Panda third, and Suzume taking the fourth there. And we have Sparrowhawk in... Oh, nope, sorry. Paradigm got first place in that game. Sparrowhawk second place. Chris Gong 27th, third, and Light Pink Yoshi rounding it out in fourth on that one.
Honestly, with these scores, so Suzume had a plus 47 coming into this, so they're only down -3 right now. Paradigm coming in third, probably at a very comfortable plus 50 right now as well. So it is still anyone's game to make top 4.
That's right. So we have a very clear demarcation here between top 4 and eliminated bottom 4 here.
But
Basically,
don't forget that
go ahead.
Paradigm, I'm so sorry, but like, don't forget Paradigm and was able to get almost plus 40 points just from that one game alone.
Right.
So if that happens, even Light Pink Yoshi, who is currently in 8th place, would be at plus 20 and be probably very comfortable in the middle pack.
I think
going
a
into the last
single
game.
first will bring any player into top 4 right now. Woo. So it's still anybody's game. We could shake it all up and see where the tiles lie after our next 2 games. But for the second game, I will be getting a spell. I will be taking a little break to the back rooms as we welcome back Irie to the commentator's booth. Welcome back, Irie, our Mahjong magical girl.
Hello, everyone! Hope you guys didn't miss me too much as I'm already back here. It's going to be a pleasure to commentate some amazing Mahjong with Ichigo. It's not our first time commentating together. And I'm sure you guys are enjoying her lovely commentary, her lovely voice, bringing you guys some Mahjong plays. It's nice to be here with Ichigo. I am also a Mahjong, well, I'm a VTuber. Ichigo is not a VTuber quite. And I also stream mostly Mahjong. Mahjong Soul, and I also play some cozy, comfy games. So,
excited to be here with you, Irie. I love commentating with you, and I think we'll have so much fun watching these next few games.
Yeah, they're always so exciting. I mean, wow, double Ricci on the first game of the day, on the first hand. That's quite exciting. Unfortunately, not a win. It was so fortunate for Light and Kyoshi. Unlucky, but there's still 2 more games to go, and anyone can come back. I mean, even Light Pink Yoshi with 2 firsts, like you said, 40 points is enough. Would be enough to put Light Pink Yoshi at plus 60. So definitely still have a shot.
Yeah. So our next games will be starting in about 1 minute. In the meantime, we can take a look at our results again. So what were you thinking, Irie, from the stands, from the peanut gallery?
I mean, we definitely saw some impressive play from Mobrick and Paradigm. They definitely got a lot of points. And I think that just shows that, you know, you're never out of it. You know, you can definitely come back from the negatives. So literally any of these players still got a shot in it. You know, 2 players are going to lose 15 points at the very least from being 4th. And then plus, you know, all the negative points. So you can definitely still mount the comeback for sure.
All right. Well, with that being said, we are about to get underway. You can count it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mahjong! Mahjong! All right, so right off the bat, we have, wow, another crazy hand to kick things off. Chris Conger, first dealer with a con of greens. Did not go con quite yet. We'll see what they decide to do. And we also have across the table a 4 of a kind of the East. What's going on here? Con.
Paradigm decides to con right away, but they are much closer to Tenpai than Chris Gong is.
Yeah, we'll see
Flips.
if... yeah, the 1 pin. Yeah, 2 Dora for Bobrick. Very interesting. We'll see if Chris Gong matches Paradigm's energy here and goes for the con as well.
I wonder if they'll wait till they're a little bit closer to Tenpai. It is the American meta, is what I've been told, that you should either con when you're very close to Tenpai or when you are Tenpai, so you can Richi off of your Rinshan tile if it's not a, well, Rinshan or after a con win.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. It does give you a lot of like the mini points, right? The food, so it does help you bump up your hand into a Mangan if necessary. And we'll see here, Paradigm Cheese, the 7-1, to get into Tenpai, waiting on 2-5 pin.
Even though they did not get any extra Dora from the 2 cons, they decided that the 32 Fu from the East is probably enough and just wants to win that fast hand. Also, if you recall, looking at the points coming into the game, Paradigm is currently in first and wants to keep that. He doesn't need to build a lot of value, he just needs to keep his placement.
It looks like Chris Gong notices the Paradigm is trying to end it quickly and, you know, not wanting to let go of their dealership right. Not yet. Chris Gong is going to call as well to accelerate the hand.
Light Pink Yoshi, I believe, is 2 away from Tenpai, needing a couple good draws, specifically a 5 soda fill in that 4-6 shape.
Yeah, drawing one on the 2 pins, the deal-in tile into Paradigm will fit in very nicely in Light Pink Yoshi's hand. Now 2 away, and we'll see if Light Pink Yoshi, you know, not having the best first game of the series, although still definitely have a good chance of winning here. Unfortunately, Paradigm, Itsumo is on the Dora, so the East Con pushing the hand up to 60 foot, and you can see here, normally this is a 4-hand, 30 hand for pretty much a Mangan, but even with only 3 Han, the hand is already almost at the Mangan range.
7,900 points is a great start for Paradigm. And we now switch over to Light Pink Yoshi's dealership.
Mm-hmm.
And he really wants to make the most out of this.
Yeah, for sure. And, you know, to help with that, 2 Dora in Light Pink Yoshi's hand. We'll see if we can, get that camera so we can take a closer look at Light Pink Yoshi's hand with missing a pair currently, but, you know, this has the groundwork for maybe a Tanya with 2 Dora. What do you think?
I agree. It could also, in that same way, if you turn your head upside down and close one eye, have a 7-8-9 mixed triple sequence chance. You would have to get rid of that red 5 so and use the 6s as your pair, but you know, there's a many ways to play this hand, I believe.
Yeah, we'll see what the wall has in store for Light Pink Yoshi. Clearly with definitely a sense of humor for the very first hand of the last game, but we'll see if that changes for this one. A nice 2-away hand for Light Pink Yoshi. Well, I guess technically 1-away, but you know, I really would love to see a mixed triple sequence like you were saying, but looks like we'll see a different play here for Light Pink Yoshi, trying to include that Dora.
Maybe even just a Pinfu hand waiting on that 5-8 if we can draw that elusive 4 so.
Now
yes.
upgrades the weight here to a 2-sided weight. Taking a look at the other hands on the table, we see Bobrick now speeding up their hand. Richie from the dealer waiting on 4-7, so definitely a good hand here.
Bobrick has 3 of them in his hand and another one of the 4 so's in Paradigm's hand, and then 2 7-so's can be seen. So I believe there are 2 left in the wall if I'm looking at this board correctly.
We also have Chris Kong on the left, 1 away from 4 concealed triplets, but that's not gonna matter. I think Yoshi finds the 7, so it's Sumos. That's gonna be Richie, Pinfu, Tsumo, Dora 2, Nowhere, but it will at least be a Mangan. So dealer Mangan right off the bat, exactly what Light Pink Yoshi was hoping for at the beginning of the last games, and finally finding it in this game.
And what's most important is he gets to repeat his dealer turn to try and rack up these points. Being last in the standings by almost 17 points, he really needs to make some big moves here.
That's right. Yeah, the 12,000 points is very important, but you can also get more of them. So that's the nice thing about being the dealer. If you guys are new, the dealer gets the special privilege of having multiple chances of getting 50% more points when they win. So definitely good to keep it going. You get to keep being dealer if you win.
Light Pink Yoshi has a few too many shapes right now, but is also have very wide ways to get into Tenpai. You can also maybe draw 6-9 for a pure double sequence. You can also look at maybe even cutting the 1-3, so potential Tanyao shapes.
That's true. Yeah, a very nice shape here for Tanyo as Light Pink Yoshi picks up the 4-pin, moves into 1 away, but maybe looking to somehow trap the opponents here as they move their hand closer to Tenpai.
Finds Tenpai.
There it is, the Richie on the 2 of them. Ooh, another early Richie for Light Pink Yoshi. 1 Dora in hand. This hand could be massive as well. Not a lot of 2-sos in people's hands, so definitely still able to Tsumo. And there it is! As I was saying, Richie, Ipa Tsumo with the Dora. That's gonna be another 12,000 points for Light Pink Yoshi.
And taking them all evenly from all the players, so he will not have to worry about one particular player targeting him maybe a little bit later down.
Yeah, I guess Light Pink Yoshi's compensating a little bit for the last dealership that he had, I guess the last game where he was you're saying, not able to win a single hand. Unfortunately, sometimes that happens, but, you know, it's almost like you're just warming up. You're just warming up.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that he was waiting on that two of bamboo last hand, because this hand, it is Dora and would be much less likely to come out. But I suppose if you were sumoing anyway, it wouldn't have mattered.
Mm-hmm. We'll see what I think Yoshi can make this hand into. Definitely has the groundwork for something very nice here. Some nice shapes. Across the table, we do see Bobrik with Adora and a Yakuhai potentially, the White Dragon. And Paradigm has already called the ace, so we'll see what they make of this.
All three of the other players probably are trying to go for faster hands or hands that will stop Yoshi from winning another dealer Mangan.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Gong maybe even considering shifting into a full flush hand if they draw more of the bamboo tiles.
We see here Bobrik picking up Tenpai actually. The 5 so does put them into Tenpai, waiting on the trio bamboo. We'll see if they decide to take it. They could also decide to pawn the White Dragons and wait on the Dora, but looks like they'll just take it. You know, believing in the Sansa. Like us here at the casting booth.
All hail Lord Sanzo.
Mm-hmm, correct.
However, Chris Gong does have 3 of the Sanzo in his hand, all very well, or all being utilized. So,
yeah, and Light Pink Yoshi, definitely a veteran at tournaments, known for playing in real life. Going to be defending, but that's not gonna matter. Bobrik is going to just find the tile himself. Does not need anyone to deal in, and he flips the Uradara for that. Essentially the Mangan, right?
essentially, we'll give it to him in our hearts. It was 2 Honba or 2 repeat dealerships, so it actually ended up being 8,500 points instead of 79.
So a little bit more than a Mangan with the bonus points, as you were saying. So now we're going to be moving into Paradigm's dealership here. We'll see if they can match up to what Light Pink Yoshi got. Definitely a good starting hand here. What do you think?
Not a bad starting hand. He has a floating east that he would love to pair up, since double east in this situation is worth 2 points. But Chris Gong has a pair and might even look for 7 pairs. I'm not sure. There's a lot of ways all these hands can go, but we have Bobrik here with a lot of bamboo.
A lot of bamboo pawns the red dragon, hoping to pair up the green dragon. Of course, when the dragon is Dora, everyone's gonna be very wary of it, especially soon. These players are definitely going to notice that, Bobrik only keeping the bamboo tiles. They'll surely be savvy to what he's doing.
Very interesting that Chris Gong passed on the first east that Paradigm through, so wondering if the plan is to use it as a pair or just hasn't decided if he wants it yet.
We'll see. Meanwhile, though, Bobrik picks up the trio bamboo to put him into Tenpai for this half flush with the red, but with the green dragon actually bumps it up to a Mangan if he does find it.
Paradigm also shifted to potentially an all simples hand by cutting the 9-pin out of it. So it would take a little bit of luck to draw all the inside tiles, so a 4 of characters and a 6 of bamboo, but potential. And there's the first 6.
There it is. So now 1 away for Paradigm, but Bobrik finds the green dragon Sumo for the Mangan. So definitely Bobrik keeping it going. He has shown us that, he definitely knows how to win. Has won some very nice hands yesterday and now today. And now we're gonna move into his dealership. He won a dealership on Paradigm, paying the brunt of that 4,000 points. And see what comes out of this hand for Bobrik. What do you think?
This is not a very beautiful looking starting hand. Has a pair of Souths, but that is not Yakuhai, so can't really use it. Could potentially make a 7-8-9 mixed triple sequences, which I think is why there's this long pause right now. But this hand needs some work. But looking at Chris Gong's hand, already starting with 2 Dora and 1 of the reds. So high value, but also still needs some work in finding the right shapes.
We also see a very nice hand here. Light Pink Yoshi actually just finding Tenpai immediately. had a very nice starting hand. Turn 3 Ricci with a red dragon and a Dora, so that's gonna be a Tsumo Mangan. We'll see. I think she finds the Patsumo again.
It's at least 5,200 points minimum, even on the Ron, so would be very happy with that. Trying to get as far away as Bobrick as possible as Bobrick slowly climbs his way closer and closer to Light Pink Yoshi's lead.
Mm-hmm. And something to note is that another thing that you might be putting into your calculations, right? You said that, ooh, finding the Ron here. So as you said, 5,200 points. Very nice
Missed
win.
the Ura on the wrong side of the win.
Uh-huh. Still though, you gotta be happy with even 5,200 points. Now putting Chris Gong at only 3,700 points. But what I was saying is that maybe, do you think these players might be playing a little bit differently now that they know how the first game went and you know the total points leaderboard?
I would say they have to be thinking about it. They do have one game left, so it's not quite crunch time and like doing all the point calculations for like exactly how much they need. But it definitely is a consideration. Yoshi must be more aggressive here, or else they will not be able to make it through. Whereas someone like Bobrick, who is already a little bit higher in the standings, might not need to be as aggressive.
I see. We'll see though. Light Pink Yoshi with the White Dragon pair, it is Dora, so a pawn here would spell Mangan very soon for their opponents, as it has spelled already twice.
And if Yoshi draws the 6 of circles, they can reach you with the 4 of bamboo and be waiting on what we call a shabo or double pair wait on the 4 Mon and White Dragon. And he set up a trap already by discarding an early 7 of characters, which might make people think the 4 is safe for going down the line.
Paradigm cheese for the 4, so a little bit tricky to get that inside shape filled, but with the chi it makes it much easier. And there it is, Tenpai achieved, and Ron picked up right after 2,000 points, going the way of Paradigm. So now, well, this game is going so fast. We're already in South 2, and it's time for Light Pink Yoshi to show us if he can do a repeat of the last time he was dealer. We'll see if he can pick up some wins again.
You know what I've noticed is Bobrick has not been emoting as much this Hanchan. The emote special is usually every hand. I've been missing them. Where are they?
Bobrick, very expressive, has shown us the emote game is very strong. And the Mahjong game is also very strong, clearly. Right now in second place.
It looks like Yoshi is maybe looking to shift towards a pure straight in the bamboo, keeping all of those tiles to maybe find it.
Dora discarded by Paradigm. Paradigm being the South seed player in South round, that would have been double South on the pawn pickup, but deciding to just go with raw efficiency. What do you make of that play?
I think that's an absolutely acceptable play, especially with how good of shapes that his hands currently has. Don't want to keep the South and potentially have it be dangerous later. If he had no value or was much further away from a Tenpai hand, I think maybe discarding the South might not be the best choice. But I think in this situation, very, very good play by Paradigm, cutting it early.
All right, and we see Bobrick one away. I do agree, yeah, just keeping that efficiency, but oh no, it backfires. Paradigm would have found the pair to have 2 Dora in hand.
He did not know that none of the other players had Dora either, unfortunately. Light Pink Yoshi finally finds a pair. So now is just looking to fill some shapes in the bamboo. Gave up on the pure straight when discarding that 1 of bamboo, but maybe looking for the pure double sequence in the 7, 8, 9.
Oh yeah, this weight is pretty wide too. 3, 5, or an 8 would help us out a lot. I think some other ones too, the 7 and the 9. So a pretty efficient hand. A lot of tiles to get the Tenpai.
And I just want to remind the viewers kind of the point situation going into this. So we have Paradigm at first place at plus 65, Bobrick in fourth place at plus 27, so right at the cutoff, Chris Gong in sixth place at minus 1.7, and Light Pink Yoshi in eighth at minus 19.
Yeah, so Light Pink Yoshi at the very bottom has to win a lot of points and get a first here if he wants to have a real shot at making it into the finals. And currently doing a very good job at that. One away.
Interesting pickup for Bobrick. Doesn't need the 8-so, but also is kind of hesitant to discard more Sozu, considering both Paradigm and Light Pink Yoshi have kind of a bamboo desert in their discard pile.
Ooh, there it is. The first call of our hand here puts Chris Gong one away. Their hand not that fast, and now we are currently in the third row of discards, so wanting to speed up so he can at least win something. Light Pink Yoshi still hasn't found that Tenpai. We'll see if he does manage to win it. I think there was maybe a thought there of, I wonder if someone is Tenpai, and maybe it's better if I defend.
He also wants to be able to keep his dealership, though, so I think there might be a chance that if Chris Gong discards either the 8 of bamboo, a 3 of bamboo, or a 5 of bamboo, Yoshi would call for Tenpai, even if it's not able to win.
Ooh, but there it is. Bulbrick actually picks up Tenpai, doesn't call Richie, the Shadow Tenpai, just to get that dealership off of Light Pink Yoshi to try and, curb the momentum that he has so far. So now we're gonna move into Paradigm's hand. Obviously a very shiny hand for Bulbrick. Then this hand is not too bad either. Some pretty nice shapes. Got a pair and a sequence.
Chris Gong also starting off with 4 pairs, and one of them is a Yakuhai pair, so we might see a possible 7 pairs attempt across the way.
We might also see the pawns for the old triplet coming through. See what Chris Gong decides to make of that hand. Light Pink Yoshi's probably the slowest hand with the least value. We'll see if, you can always just reach Ipatsumo something when you get to Tenpai, so can't count the hand out quite yet.
No, and he has a 7-pin, so that could easily connect into the 8-pin Dora. So we could potentially see a Riichi +1 with Light Pink Yoshi's hand.
We have the first pawn for Chris Gong. It looks like we might see an all triplets here.
We also see a pair of East and Paradigm's hand. With no East anywhere else, so this could be something that he pawns to also get a pretty fast hand in.
Does look like Bulbrick managed to pair up the Green Dragon, so now with 3 Dora in hand, you gotta be happy about that pickup.
So even though we know, watching the game, that Chris Gong is not Tenpai and is probably just going for triplets or all triplets, the other players on the table might assume that Chris Gong is going for a half flush in the character suit because of the discard pile that he currently has.
And we just saw a flurry of calls coming through. Everyone called at least once, and Paradigm calls again. The pawn on the 6-mon to be Tenpai on the east. The 7-so does not give him the win, but there's only one left of those. And Light Pink Yoshi trying to go for the mixed triple sequence just to shut down Paradigm, not wanting any sort of comeback.
Light Pink Yoshi putting himself in a very precarious situation, calling twice, so he only has 7 tiles left to defend. And there's the red dragon, which he cannot discard into Chris Gong. But then Chris reveals all of his tricks by pawning the 4 of circles.
Now they've got to be going, okay, so it's not as scary as I thought, but you never know. Chris Gong could end up with a very dangerous hand here. The West still out there to be drawn. So is the South, actually.
And Yoshi almost fully deciding to fold with that 2 of bamboo discard.
Looks like Paradigm will decide to fold as well after that call from Chris Kong. Little did they know he's not even Tenpai. Chris Kong finds the 8-pin, the Dora, so that could be a very scary hand all of a sudden.
Interesting. Doesn't even take what we would call K10 or a no Yaku Tenpai. Could have done it with the 6-mon.
Yeah,
But
still
decided it's not even worth it.
a lot of people Tenpai here, but still no one quite there yet. Paradigm did fold out of the Tenpai, perhaps just wanting to shut down Chris Kong. And there it is, finally. Tenpai for Chris Kong, Red Dragon in South, but it looks like Light Pink Yoshi, you know, realizing, hey, I'm in first, and there's been so many calls. I just want to get out of this one alive.
Although Light Pink Yoshi is running out of guaranteed safe tiles, so maybe the 1-pin next? Oh!
Ooh, a Khan! And
Oh
sumo! That sumo off the Khan draw is going to be Rinshan Kaiho Tsumo after a Khan. Prevailing win and all triplets for the manga. An amazing win here. Wow, we saw a double Richi and now an after a Khan. Such rare hands.
An absolutely incredible play.
Amazing.
Amazing. What a moment also, because that would have been the last South. I think one of the South was being held by the other characters, and everyone was so scared of all of the Yaku highs and the terminals because there were pairs of them in everyone's hand.
Wow, so I guess Chris Kong definitely glad to be holding that South all the way until the very end of the hand.
He knew it was coming. He was like, "This is the tile. I know it," and he was right.
Yeah, this is exactly what Chris Kong needed. Was all the way at the bottom of fourth, and especially on Paradigm's dealership. You know, Paradigm having to pay half of that hand's worth now puts a lot less distance between them. So maybe Chris Kong can make the points back up and get back into third place. We do see 2 pawns from Light Pink Yoshi to go for an all triplets, just like Chris Kong did.
But Bobrick here, also looking for a hand, already has a Anko of the value wind, or a triplet of that. So will likely call what comes out. He wants to just get the points to overtake Light Pink Yoshi. It's only about 10,000 points, so a direct Mangon would do it. Actually, a direct 340 would do it, but that's quite unlikely to come out from Yoshi.
Yeah, we'll see. This one could also just end up being a manga, and we'll see what Bobrick draws. Now one away.
But Yoshi Tenpai on the 1 of bamboo and the 7 of circles. Both of the 7 of circles are in other people's hands being utilized in the sequence. And the 1 of bamboos is in dealer's hand in a 1-2-3 sequence. So also unlikely to come out.
Yeah, so as we move into the last hand here of the round, what do you think the other players might be looking for?
Well, I think Bobrick might be looking just to win with a fast hand, so he can repeat the dealership, and Chris Kong obviously looking to win enough points to overtake Paradigm for third place, because as we said, the placement bonus really matters. And with Chris Kong in the negatives right now, those plus 10 points would be very useful, or the plus 5 for second place.
Yeah, I agree. Although I do have a question for you. Paradigm did have Tenpai here with the 8-pin and the 4-pin, but decided to discard it. Do you have any thoughts about why that might have happened?
I could not tell you why. Maybe he sensed danger somewhere and decided that he didn't want to, or even maybe wanting to shift to 7 pairs, unlikely as that may seem.
I think I understand now. Light Pink Yoshi showing that he's probably going for an all triplets with green and the west, which are 2 value tiles. Maybe Paradigm is afraid of dealing into that Mangon and going below Chris Kong, which would be, you know, a net positive, well, a net negative of 18,000 points lost in the overall scheme of things. Chris Kong, though, does find Tempai here with nothing to lose. Reaches for the 4-7 of Bamboo 8.
Those Easts in Paradigm's hand just seem like a ticking time bomb because we know it doesn't win on anything, but there's no East on the table, so it seems very suspicious. And we have Bobrick with the silent Tempai.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is Furitan. He did discard the 4-man earlier, so he cannot win off of this. And there it is. That's a much better weight. We'll see if he takes it.
Does take it, and now everyone is waiting on this 1-4-7 of Bamboo.
And 7-pin for Lightning Kyoshi, though. Those are never coming out. Ooh, this is a Dora, but Bobrick has discarded them all already. Do you discard the last one against the Ricci?
Oh, this is so scary. This is such a hard decision. He needs this.
Oh,
For
but the one
value.
of Bamboo is discarded right into Light Pink Yoshi's hand. It does look like Light Pink Yoshi will be taking a very nice first here.
Bobrick maintains second place, though, which I think is very important. Chris Gong, unfortunately, keeping the fourth place, not able to convert that Ricci.
So just as you were saying, any of these players could get 40 points, and looks like Light Pink Yoshi did just that. Exactly what he needed at -20, the bottom of our top 8. Now putting him comfortably in the middle of the pack with +20, I believe. And we'll see what the rest of the scores look like, but for Bobrick, it's going to be +3.5. Second place, a little bit positive, you know, even though it's 23,000 points, 500, a little bit below starting. Paradigm going to be taking third with 16.2, -13.8, and Chris Kong in last. Unfortunately, did not manage to make that comeback, despite the very cool after a con win, and then going to be in last with -29.8. And we'll see if there are more games for us to watch. Although that was still very exciting. What did you think, Ichigo?
Was so exciting at the very end with 3 people in Tempai, 2 Riccis, and very unfortunate that Bobrick dealt in on the 1-so, but if you cut the other side of the 4-so, it would have dealt in to Chris Gong, and I think he did think it was just a little bit dangerous. Unfortunately, he did change the weight to still be Tempai, waiting on that Tonki, or only waiting on that pair weight of 1 of Bamboo Dora, but it would have been Furiton because he discarded 2 of them before. So it was just honestly an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, extremely unfortunate. But we'll be coming in here. Unfortunate is not what's happening here to Viact. Viact, under dealer, self 3. We're coming in here into 32,000 points, 400 for Viact in first place in a commanding lead. And with this hand here, could end up even higher. Red Panda is in second with a Dora in the hand. Still very early in the hand, so we can't really quite tell yet who's going to be the first player to Tempai, right?
Too early to tell. I think all the hands need a little bit of work, but you know, 1 or 2 good draws can absolutely change the hand state for any of these players. Suzume noticeably in third place with 21,000 points. Just took a major 4th place, is in a much better position right now, but looking to climb back into second place to get those extra points.
Yeah, we'll see if he can climb out of 16,000 points essentially. Viact still not finding any of these styles, just discarding, drawing and discarding terminals and honors. We'll see if luck picks up for him.
The pair, though, in this Green Dragon.
Yeah, the pair of Green Dragons, very nice. You can pawn that to go for this 3 Dora hand. Could be massive here. Do you remember how much Viact had? Do you remember the points for these players?
I do, actually. So currently, Viact is in second place, only 4 points below Paradigm at +61. We have Red Panda in 5th place with -0.25. So the Saki Award, closest to ±0. Suzume at -3.2, and Sparrowhawk and 3rd with +45.
Okay, so we got 2 at the top and 2 right in the middle there. So we'll see. They're not, you know, down so many points like Light Pink Yoshi was, so they don't need quite as big a win, but you know, any points you can get definitely helps.
Absolutely, and plus there's still one more game, so they want to make their situation for the final game as easy as possible to guarantee that top 4 slot. You know,
Sparrowhawk-
playing in Catfood is there is partial luck, but there are lots of great prizes that they don't want to leave sitting on the table.
Yeah, definitely not wanting to leave this hand on the table as he moves into a wider 108. Just looking for the 4-7 of characters, or maybe the green to get into Tenpai here. Although Suzume and Sparrowhawk are already in Tenpai. Suzume making some calls, but Sparrowhawk just choosing to stay with the silent Tenpai, maybe trying to improve their weight?
Maybe, but decides it's not worth the wait and decides to just take it. And Red Panda immediately draws a deal-in tile.
Oh, but looks like trying to defend against Sparrowhawk is going to end up dealing into Suzume, but you know, not that big of a deal, only 1,000 points.
Unfortunately, that is 1,000 points to exactly the wrong player, as as Suzume and Red Panda are competing right now for second place.
That's right, so you definitely don't want to deal into your direct competitor, but it's not the end of the world, it's only 1,000 points. In essence, you just need to win any hand here and you'll be just fine. And so this is how for the final hand of round 2. So we'll see what the players make of this. Looks like we'll have 2 players competing for a hand here to overtake VX. So VX is gonna have to be very careful to not deal into them.
Right, with Red Panda only 4,000 points below VAct, and Suzume dealer and only 8,000 points. This is anyone's game still.
Sparrowhawk moving into 108 now. Although the shapes are not the best.
And Suzume, as dealer, finds Tenpai and
Oh,
does decide to take the wider weight by discarding the Aka 5-mon.
Oh, so going for the Richi. Waiting on the 1-4. Discards the Dora. What do you think here?
I think it's absolutely a great decision because it is their dealership, so they don't need to guarantee that point values to overtake. So this is Richi plus 1 Dora guaranteed, potentially even Tanyao if they get the 4-mon, and even an Ura. So that could be 12,000 points right here.
Yeah, interesting to
goes right.
see how things shake out. I know some players that we've seen in these Catfood Bowl tournaments would sometimes elect to go for the silent Tenpai instead. So excited to see how that works out for Suzume. Definitely interesting to see the variance in play from these players. Viact has a lot of triplets.
What you said before was very pertinent here, though, Iris, because you said sometimes dealer reaches just to get the other players to stop progressing their hand, and I think that might have been the situation here.
Ooh, but it looks like it will pay off. The decision. Richi, Tanya, Dora, Ron off of the 4th place player, I believe. Yeah, Sparrowhawk was in 4th and going to deal out even more, so not a great position. We'll have to make up a lot of points now. It's going to be very difficult to climb out of 4th, so maybe now it might shift, right? What you're going for.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what Suzume wanted. He got the best draw on the Tanyao side, on the all simple side, and 1 Ura to get that Mangan. So just a reminder, Sparrowhawk was currently in 3rd place, so taking this 4th place will not be the end of their run. Everyone still has a shot, and Suzume took a major 4th, but getting this 1st place would very much help them in their final game.
So they're already in 1st place, and not only that, they have an amazing hand on their 2nd round of their dealer. So we'll see if they get to make that comeback with potentially another extremely good dealer hand.
I think this is a very interesting shape, and I love it. This like double-sided middle weight, the 357 weighting on the 4 or the 6. It's almost like a double-sided weight. It's as best as you can get when you have middle weights.
Yeah, and the nice thing about it is that both sides would be a tempai on Tanya also. You don't have to feel bad about drawing either side.
Wonder if Suzume gets Tenpai, if they will decide to silent Tenpai or if they will Richi.
Ooh, now would be an interesting, moment to see what the decision would be.
Because now that they are in first place, they don't need to fight as hard. But they are only in first place by 3,600 points. So it is Viak can still easily come back, and they have a very good hand as well. 2 away from a half full straight.
I can't believe what I'm seeing. Suzume was like, okay, I'm gonna drop the 7 for the wider weight on the 357, right? Because I want to, make sure I have a 2-sided weight, and that side is harder to complete, which makes sense. But then he drew the 7 again, and I was like, okay, I mean, I guess I already discarded it now, so I'll just go for something else, and then drew it again, unfortunately. But it's okay. Finally finds standby, waiting on that 5-8 of Bamboo. So we'll see if they manage to win it, and they do! Richi, Patsu, Tanya, that's gonna be another manga off of Sparrowhawk, 12,000 points. Oof, that's kind of hard.
All those 7s was actually in the stars for them, because that made the 8 and 9 of Bamboo look much safer.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes,
normally would have.
Yeah, there's usually something you can do, by the way, guys. If you're struggling to defend sometimes when there's a bunch of stuff going on, if there's a lot of 7s or 8s discarded, one side would be usually safer, right? That's what we call, like, there's a wall being built, so the other side is safer. But in that case, it actually was a trap, because Suzume got the Yapatsu off of Sparrowhawk, probably because of that.
And unfortunately, that puts Sparrowhawk in quite a negative position at the moment. And Suzume almost untouchable now as dealer. Viact would need to win a Mangan direct in order to overtake.
Yeah, we'll see. Viact will need to win a Mangan direct. We'll see, though. Red Panda with 2 Dora right now could be the one who wins the Mangan for this round.
Oh, just draws another Dora and the red. So now Red Panda has 4 Dora in their hand.
Wow, that's amazing. It's exactly what you need.
This is a very interesting situation, though, because you have a not so great weight in that 8-9 of Bamboo. You could have cut that and also kept the 6 of characters in order to maybe have a wider weight, but it's around Dora. It's a hard decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's still... Okay, though, all the 5s are out there in people's hands, so they're gonna be the lucky ones with the Dora in hand. We'll see, though, if Red Panda can upgrade their shapes, as you were saying. That 6-pin is still in their hand, so we could see a wider shape, maybe a 7 of circles is drawn.
Oh, and there's the South, drawn by Red Panda. Will Suzume pawn? This declines the pawn.
I wonder if this signals maybe a more defensive play. They are keeping the green dragon right now, which has been dropped twice already, and electing not to keep any of the more efficient tiles to build sequences with.
Could be a decision to maybe say, I've got my points, I'm going to fold out of this hand. I'll take the win if it happens, but I'm not going to go forcing it.
Mm-hmm.
And Sparrowhawk getting a lot of the Manzu characters.
Yeah, I think now we're gonna see. Yeah, I think now we're gonna see the play for the full flush because they made a call there.
Unfortunately for them, all of the coveted Dora 5s are in other people's hands.
Mostly Red Panda.
Mostly Red Panda. Yes, yes. Although Suzume, if they end up drawing, the 2 of characters might drop the 5, but more likely they would drop the Pinzu tiles, the circle tiles.
Yeah, we'll see. Suzume still just not really looking to win this, and it seems. And there it is. Red Panda finds Senpai, winning on the 2-5. Looks like the play to keep the 7-8-9 shape was the best one. Now in Senpai, and there's actually only one 5-pin left. So that's a single tile away.
Draw the most optimal in what he thinks is the 7-so, and that was the very last 7-so as well, since 2 of them are being held in Viac's hand.
See, now players just defending, not looking to deal in and lose their position in the very last round.
No, Red Panda really wants this, especially because it would guarantee their 2nd place finish.
Oh, there is the last one. I was going to say Red Panda has the last straw, but unfortunately no more winning tiles, and that's going to be, I do believe that's going to be it. Tempai for Sparrow. Oh no, there's one last one. There was
one.
The last straw.
Haite, last draw, Sumo.
Wait.
Oh my
This
goodness.
is a Baimon. This is enough.
This is a Baimon. This totally flips the entire game, and because Suzume's dealer, they have to deal the 8,000 points instead of the 4,000 points.
Oh my goodness, that was just enough to put Red Panda in first with 45,300. That massive play. Oh my goodness, so
he didn't even need
Dora.
the Ura. That would have been a Baimon without the Ura.
Yeah, that was 5 Dora in total. Richi, Tsumo, Dora 5. Amazing.
Oh my god, Suzume must be seething right about now.
Yeah, Suzume really needed a first place, so wow, what an exciting game.
I want to go back to that because I want to see the math. If Suzume dealt in the 5-pin that they drew, because that would have been significantly less. Would that have still been enough?
That would have been 3 Han, actually. 3 Han less, right? With the Ura, that would have been 12.
No, it would have 4 Han less because of the Epots, the Sumo, Red 5, and the Ura. It would have been 4 Han less.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Haite, yeah. So, sorry. Not Epots. I'm so sorry. The Haite. But oh my gosh, that's wild.
It's so crazy. And here we do have the game 2 results. Oh, there it is. Okay, we got an instant replay. Instant replay.
Okay. Let's go back real quickly. Okay, so point situation wise, because if Red Panda just won off of that 5-pin, it would have been Richi, Dora 4, right? And then there would still been 1 Ura, so it had a Hanemon. So it would have still been enough to
it would have been still been enough. It does happen sometimes though, where the situation you're talking about is sometimes it's cheaper to deal into the hand in like a cheaper way instead of paying the more expensive Tsumo. And there it is again. I cannot believe it. Richi Tsumo on the red 5 on the last draw and flips Ura. The Ura did not matter, but all those other things coming together to give him this massive hand. Impressive.
But it's actually just that Uradora that would have made the flip, because if Suzume dealt in the 5-pin and there was no Ura, that would have actually been small enough that Suzume would have kept their first place and Red Panda would have made it second place.
Wow, so here it is, the game 2 results. We have Viac taking that 3rd place, Sparrowhawk in 4th, Red Panda in 1st after that massive comeback. Sparrowhawk, unfortunately, very negatives. That's going to be -53. We'll see if they can make it back in game 3. Suzume did end up in 2nd there with +20. Yeah, I mean, the dealership still ended up in Suzume's favor because before they were in 3rd, and Sparrowhawk was much closer, right? So because of their dealership, they still managed to get that +20. So that's still very helpful towards bringing them closer to the middle of the pack. And we see now that the middle of the pack has become now between 30 and 20 points, right?
This is an insanely close game, with it still being almost anyone's game. Chris Gog might have to get a couple Yakuman, but honestly, everyone is so close to each other to make top 4.
I mean, I do remember it might have been Chris Gong who got the extremely crazy pair weight on the 4 concealed triplets.
Green Dragon. Yeah. Oh, 4 concealed triplets.
Oh, no, it was V-Act. Chris Gong did get yeah, a bunch of the Patsu dealer Hanemans on the qualifiers for the top 16. So I mean, no one's out of this game yet. We saw a 4 concealed triplet single pair weight for the qualifiers for the top 16, and then we also saw the 100,000 points game from one of the players. They unfortunately did not make top 8, but still, we have seen it before, so we can definitely see it again. It's not out for anyone, definitely.
Yeah, this is really good. And so even V-Act and Paradigm, who are currently in first and second, cannot rest because we just saw it's quite easy to take a 4th place, a minus 40 points negative situation, and a minus 40 would put both of them below that top 4 cutoff.
Our players certainly got very lucky, and that was an amazing game. But now it's time to maybe you guys can get lucky as we give you guys the gift code. So we have a gift code for you guys, another one. Today we have the EXXWQZ8MA7AC code. So you will see that in the YouTube chat if you are in there. And a reminder to get this code in your, and to get this gift in your inventory, you have to go to the browser client. In your settings, there will be a little cogwheel on the top right, and you go to the other tab, there will be a gift code button there, so you can enter that in. Again, EXXWQZWMA78C, and that will be in the YouTube chat. Reminder, you guys have 1 day from the start of this live stream, so 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. So I'm excited to see what the prize is for this stream.
Yes, and this is available to everyone. So if you have if you have friends that play the game but are not currently watching this stream, send this gift code to them as well. It will, you do not have to watch the stream just to use this code, but we appreciate all of you here who are watching this right now.
And to show you guys our appreciation, we also have the lucky draw that will be giving you guys a fortune charm for 30 days. Can you tell us a little bit about this, Ichigo?
Absolutely. So this is a fortune charm given to you, one of you guys, by answering a question in the YouTube chat. So a fortune charm will be given to one lucky person. And to claim it, once a winner has been chosen, please email us at mjs.cs@yostar.com, yo-star.com, with not just your Mahjong Soul user ID, but also your YouTube ID, so we can verify that it was indeed you who won. So, Irie, a question for the lucky draw. Who is your favorite Mahjong Soul male character?
It's a tough question, Ichigo. There are a lot of really good male characters. We got Osamu, for example, who I really like, but I don't know, this might be an unpopular opinion. Actually, no, it's probably a really popular opinion. My favorite male character is actually Wanjiro. I love his voice lines.
Oh my gosh, Irie, we have the same favorite male character. I love Wanjiro as well.
Oh
I
my
think
god.
he is so cute.
Yes, it's so cute. I do love Wanjiro. I love the voice acting so much for that character.
Oh, we have so many opinions here. Wanjiro is actually one of the top options I see in the chat.
I mean,
also...
I knew it was coming. I know who you guys like. The Ron Itadaki.
We have, I see only one vote for Joseph. Oh, there's another vote for Joseph. Our favorite male character who has the most interesting voice lines, I would say.
Makes sense that it's Sparrowhawk saying that he likes Joseph, you know, with the hawk and everything.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, Joseph is one of those characters that, like, when he runs, I am so terrified because the way he says, like, so angry, or not angry, but so, that voice, that presence.
Yeah, Wanjiro is like cute. He's like, he wants to be your friend. He's like, thank you for the food. And then Joseph's like, Ron, Tomo.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very
So-
scary.
It does look like we have the winner for the lucky draw. Thank you guys so much for telling us your favorite male character. And it is Turkey winning with Washizu. So congratulations, Turkey. Don't forget to email us at mjs.cs@yo-star.com with your Mahjong Soul ID, which you can find in your friends tab on the game. On the top right corner, you'll have your Mahjong Soul ID, and your YouTube channel will have a link. On the link, there will be an ID, I believe. You may want to check that to make sure, but I believe that's where you find your YouTube ID, and you send those two to mahjongsoul.cs@yo-star.com, and there you go. You will have your prize. We'll send that over to you. And now, I think we might be going into another game soon. So here's a reminder of how the scores look like. What do you think, Ichigo? How do you think these players are gonna play in the final match?
It is honestly anyone's game. I think V-Act and Paradigm are probably going to be playing a little bit more defensively, trying to get points still, but maybe not as push heavy as, you could be in a game with Red Fives. Light Pink Yoshi maybe needs to be a bit more aggressive. Light Pink Yoshi and Suzume, because they are still a little bit behind. But as you said earlier, it is guaranteed 2 people will be getting minus 15 points automatically from placement. So who will those 2 be? I think that will heavily decide the outcome of these semifinals.
We'll see if Light Pink Yoshi can do a repeat of the last game. I think that would definitely be enough to put him in the top 4 there to play in the finals. So it looks like we have our tables here seated according to the little snake ladder you see on the right. So the first and fourth of each game will play against the first and fourth of the other game, and then the middle 2, second and third, will play against each other. So we have Light Pink Yoshi, Bobrick, V-Act, and Sparrowhawk in table 1, and Red Panda and Suzume. I don't know. Suzume might get a little bit of a flashback from the last hand, but you have to keep it together and try to win against Red Panda. Not let that happen again. And we have Paradigm and Chris Kong again, so we'll see how that shakes out. Our matches are loading right now, guys, but if you guys remember, last stream we had a question. What is your favorite Yaku, I believe? What is your favorite Yaku, Ichigo? I don't believe you were here.
Oh, I don't think I was here for that. I always say my favorite Yaku is half flush or full flush. I think it's just one of the prettiest Yaku, especially a full flush, because it's just everything in the same soup.
Yeah,
And its value.
Yeah, it's always crazy when you actually manage to get that full flush and your hand is still closed, because the amount of points you can get, and also sometimes you get those like crazy 5-sided weights or something that you always see in those images, like, oh, can you find the weight here?
Can you find this weight, this 6-sided 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9 weight? Insane.
Yeah, exactly.
Great for training your Mahjong mental skills, though, because in real life play, you don't get to have the tips, but luckily for us, Mahjong Soul is so kind to us and gives us all of the weights, so we don't have to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah, I do believe, though, if you want to become a pro at Mahjong, sometimes you might see a player with like a little P next to their name. Those are the pro players. They actually have to know all of those weights. They have to know them, pretty much by heart, because you cannot make one of those mistakes if you're a pro. We'll see, though, if these players will make any mistakes. These are very good players, too. They're at the top of the ladder of Mahjong Soul. I believe we have a bunch of Saint players and even a Celestial that we had earlier. I don't remember if they're still in the match. But anyways, without further ado, here is the final game of the night of the semifinals. Sparrowhawk going to be our first dealer here. And we'll see what this hand becomes. Very nice, with some nice shapes and the Dora to boot.
Yes, 3 relatively safe tiles or tiles that can pair up to be a Yaku High. Honestly, this is a wonderful hand for Sparrowhawk because it could very easily turn into a Ricci all simples Pinfu Dora 1 hand.
We'll see if Sparrowhawk has the time. Viact speeds up their hand with the Call of the White Dragon, so now any tile that he can pick up with a Chi, definitely want to take that.
Yes. And also a reminder, Sparrowhawk is currently in 7th place at minus 8.35, so they definitely want to make the most out of these dealerships.
Yeah, you don't want anyone to stop you from getting points, for sure, and that's exactly what the other players are going to try to do. Oh my goodness, Blink Yoshi with a flurry of calls picks up Tenpai just like that, waiting on the west, half flush like your favorite hand, waiting on the west.
Commentator's blessing, maybe? I don't know.
Bobrick also went away for a very special hand here, the twice pure double sequence. We never get to see that.
Yes, it'd be such an exciting win. The West was discarded by Light Pink Yoshi for a better weight of 4-7. Decided does not need to try and trap someone with the West and would rather have the wider weight option.
Ooh, a triplet picked up by Bobrick. This hand could become very scary very soon. However, I don't know if you'll have time for that. Sparrowhawk already almost winning this hand. 5-8 pin Tenpai picked up. Another triplet being picked up by Bobrick.
Viact has paired up his East Dora, actually.
Ooh.
So, might deal in here will Chi the 6, 7, 8 of characters and might discard the 7. So we'll see how greedy Viact gets here.
I mean,
they're thinking very hard about it.
Yeah, because you don't want to deal into this half flush, but you might. Oh, just closing his eyes and
The
praying.
Mangon was too tempting.
I mean, sometimes it's the right play, right? Sometimes you gotta risk it for that, crazy win. But unfortunately, it deals into Light Pink Yoshi. Not a Mangon, so, the half flush always scary because it is very easy to make a Mangon like that. But 5,200, pretty heavy blow, but definitely not out of the game quite yet.
No, and Light Pink Yoshi wins the first hand of the match, which is exactly what he needs because he needs to at least maintain first or second place to make top 4 here.
A lot of Dora being picked up by Bobrick. Maybe it might end up as a 7 pairs. We'll see.
4 pairs to start, it's totally possible. Depends on what draw is next.
We have an exciting hand across the table. Light Pink Yoshi signaling the classic telltale signs of a 13 Orphans hand. We'll see if he manages to win that one. That would be exciting.
Would be very exciting, although missing quite a few tiles, including East, West, and 9-mon, 1 pin, and 9 so. Wow. Okay, that was a lot.
Yeah, quite a few tiles. See what they draw. Viac doesn't have that bad of a hand either. 2 away currently. Oh.
Has potential to calm, but this would be it would ruin the 2-5 shape that he has.
Yeah, maybe he might use that as a triplet in a sequence.
Perhaps.
It does actually help improve the hand's efficiency by quite a bit.
Definitely. And also, could also use it as if he draws a 4 bamboo, then they could maybe con because they would have another pair. Because right now this hand is missing a pair. 2 pin drawn for Shadowhawk, and now maybe this could be hedging 7 pairs.
Yeah, we'll see. Currently 1 away for Sparrowhawk. Has a chance of the mixed triple sequence. Not quite. I'm so interested to see what Act will do. React.
I agree. Yoshi decides the 13 Orphans is probably not going to come and switches to a half flush hand.
Bobrick did pick up another pair, so now 1 away for Bobrick. We'll see. Viak did find the Dora, so does not fit into the hand at all. So we'll see if he drops it. Ricci for Sparrowhawk, 3-6 spin, picks up the best weight, the 7 of bamboo. So now Tenpai for pure double sequence Tanyao Pinfu Dora, that is a guaranteed mangan. Hanuman on Sumo, I believe.
They would have to win on the 6 of pin, and that is already once out.
So now 2 reaches on the table. Bobrick also picks up Tenpai, 7 pairs waiting on the east. And none of those have been drawn yet, actually, so...
And there is Tenpai for V-Act, however, they would have to discard Dora to take it, and decides it is not worth the risk.
Ooh, finds the east. Do they have safe tiles? Do they have safer tiles than the east? Oh no?
Oh, I don't
Okay.
know. 8, so...
Ooh,
Oh, but it
doesn't
doesn't matter!
Bobrick finds Richitsumo Chitoidora 2 for Hanuman, the shortcut to Hanuman. Oh, and the Uradora for Baiman. Another Baiman. That's so crazy.
Chitoi is the shortcut to Baimon.
So true. Wow, the Richitsumo Chitoidora 2, Ura 2 for the Baiman. Gonna put Bobrick.
Wow.
And there's the emotes. Now it's
There's
back.
the emote. There's the Bobrick we know and love with the emotes. Alright, and now Bobrick's dealer turn. So he's going to try and rack up even more points, because once again, just making it into the top 4 isn't necessarily enough, because scores are halved going into the finals. As you still want to win as many points as possible here.
Definitely want to win as many points as possible, and Bobrick is doing just that. Although decides not to pawn the White Dragon. We did see sort of a defensive playstyle on the dealer when Bobrick wasn't first in the last time we saw him play. So we'll see if that's something he's willing to do. It looks like it was just passing the first one, you know, see if you draw something else. But now the second one is dropped, so he will take it.
Will he take this one? I think it was told to me, and I actually really believe this, is if you open your hand, you just have to be faster than everyone else. So even though it might not have been optimal to call the 5 of bamboo, it is the fastest option.
Now Tenpai for Bobrick, picking up the 4, using the 2s as a pair. And we'll see now if he can find the trio bamboo. He has been very good at finding those tiles.
And there it is.
Deals it in. $2,900.
Quite a cheap hand, but it is still points are points, and we definitely take those points.
Sparrowhawk, after the last game, you know, does not want to see that happen again, the negative.
No, Sparrowhawk needs to be a little bit more aggressive here, which also could lead to more deal-in tiles, unfortunately. Alright, so Bobrick's hand has 2 Dora in it, but nothing is connected to the 1 So Dora, and he decides to cut it right away.
Yeah, we'll see what Bobrick decides to do after that. These Yakuhai pairs are not working out, it looks like. So we'll have to do something else if she wants to win the hand.
I think Yoshi has a lot of the pin tiles, but I don't think he can go for a half flush in this situation.
By the way, guys, if you are enjoying the stream, if you're enjoying these amazing hands, remember to hit like on the YouTube channel, on the stream, so that you can show us your love if you're enjoying the stream. And also don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed yet for all things Mahjong Soul and more tournaments like these and highlight reels, which will be coming out right after the tournament.
Yes, like, subscribe, and share with your friends, because there will be other opportunities to potentially win prizes. So get them to come watch and share the love of Mahjong.
That's right. Let's grow the channel to help grow Mahjong too. Now we'll see if Bobrick can grow this hand into a manga, and now picking up another 5, potentially for a pure double sequence. Could be a nice hand.
That would be a very nice hand if they end up reaching pure double sequence Dora 1 with 1 Ura. That could potentially be another dealer Mangan.
I'm trying to understand Viak's hand because there's such a a mass of Manzu right there in the middle. It does have 2 Dora though,
Yeah.
and I do think it's 1 away.
It is. So they just need the 4 Mon to complete their pure double sequence on the 4, 5, 6, and they have an additional sequence of the 6, 7, 8. So that is 3
Oh.
shapes in the Manzu tile right there. They could also get a 7, so a 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. But what's more key for them is drawing that edge weight Sanzo 3 of bamboo, because since that is, I think, the hardest tile to get.
Or maybe picking up another Dora would be the best outcome here so that they can elevate this hand into a Mangan of their own. We'll see.
Correct.
Viact currently in last place. Does need a lot of points in order to make this comeback.
Yes. Viac's hand is difficult to read because there's no pair in it yet. So they still need one of those.
Speaking of pairs, Bobrick picking up another pair. And this 8 so does help them quite a bit to finish the hand. Do they do not decide to take it though? They wanted a pure double sequence.
They really want the pure double sequence, yes. And Viac actually shifts over to a all simples hand, actually, by calling the 5, 6, 7.
I see. So maybe just
giving up the pure double sequence in their side as well.
Yeah, so just going for a quick hand to shut down Bobrick, not wanting him to run away with the game. Maybe being mindful of the standings, right?
Definitely. Again, Viact, I believe, is
In first place.
currently in first place at plus 60.
Yeah,
about.
Bobrick was at plus 31, so at first with this kind of points would be enough for the top 4. So we'll see if Bobrick continues to absolutely crush it, winning so many crazy hands tonight.
I think Yoshi's hand is still a few shapes away. He has 3 of the 7 pins, so it has a very interesting like 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 7, 9, 9 shape. I'm wondering if he gets an 8 pin, if he would change the shape. I'm genuinely not sure. Change the pair.
I think at that point you can drop the 7 mon and just have a very nice 1 away, where if you draw the 3 mon, you're Tenpai.
Yeah, the 3 mon would be a very good draw for Tenpai, and on a 2-sided weight as well.
Not quite Tenpai. Yeah, it's a very complicated hand to like try to think of if you change your weights, but the 3 mon does give Tenpai on a 3-6, so maybe just hoping for that. There's quite a few of them left, actually, I think.
Sparrowhawk, I think, has a very interesting hand right now because they're hedging 3 very different hands. Made a choice there, but it could have been the 1, 2, 3 mixed triple sequences. It could have been a full straight, and now maybe even hedging something like an outside hand with only like 1, 2, 3s and 7, 8, 9s.
Oh, there it is, the 3 mon for Lightning Yoshi, Tenpai.
Will
does
they
have
reach
to Reachy. Yeah, it does have to Reachy in order to make it. And there it is. Reachy waiting on 3-6 mon. However, no tiles left to be drawn, I believe. Yeah,
I agree. It is only one draw for him left as well. So maybe someone will discard an extremely dangerous Manzu tile, but I think this will probably end up not being a win for Yoshi.
Bobrick here, hoping to get into Tenpai or maybe shift the last tile just a little bit. Help to preserve the state of the game, right? They're not gonna get to preserve the dealership, but you're not dealing in, so it's all good.
Right. Very interesting push from Sparrowhawk, cutting the 1 so Dora. Could have been dangerous, honestly.
Well, there it is. It was not dangerous and just ended in no 10 for most of them. I think Yoshi taking most of the points. We'll see what he makes out of the first dealer. We saw last game that he managed to rack up quite a bit of points on his dealership, so he does need another first place here, I believe, in order to make it to the top 4. And depending on how the other games go, he might need a very good first.
He actually might only need a very good second place, depending on how all the other games go, especially because Viact is currently in first place and is in last place right now, in 4th place here. But Yoshi picks up a very good edge weight on the 7 of characters, actually, as his first draw, and that completed that, like, either side of the 5, 6, 7 or the 7, 8, 9 shape that he had. So this could be a very fast hand that we see.
We'll see indeed. V-Act hoping to maybe just shut down Light Pink Yoshi. I think just trying to play as offensively as possible and not letting Light Pink Yoshi come back, because currently he's in 5th. So if you just keep him there and maybe you try to come back later, that's the best you can do.
Yeah, two away for Bobrick. The triplet of the 9 of bamboo is very interesting for this hand because he can use it as a triplet, or he can actually cut one and use it as a pair, since he is missing a pair at this moment.
Yeah, you can always draw one of your sequences as a pair, like the 6, 7, or you can always just cut one of your 9 from the triplet to make it into a pair. So a lot of options there, but V-Act pawning the 1 of bamboo, going to be Tenpai 6-9 man. Only 1,000 points, but it's enough to shut down Yoshi's dealer.
And also, unfortunately, Yoshi does have an extra copy of this 9-mon, so if they do get a Tenpai, it is very likely that that 9-mon will be cut.
Yeah, we'll see. Currently, the most likely Tenpai would include the 9-man into the hand. So we'll see what gets drawn here. There it is. Tenpai for Light Pink Yoshi, waiting on the trio bamboo. It's only 1,500.
Not dealing.
Yeah, it's only it's not dealing, which is great. It's only 1,500 points, but that's exactly what you need to start a comeback. However, Sparrowhawk deals into V-Act, so that's, even though Light Pink Yoshi tried to, win quicker, did not matter at all. Still in 2nd place though, so only has to outrank Bobrick to have that chance to be in the top 4. Depends on how the other games go though.
Definitely. Very unfortunate for Sparrowhawk, looking for a much bigger hand than he could get.
So currently,
hands. Go ahead.
I was going to say that currently we are now in South 1, and you're going to say, looking at these hands, you're probably going to talk about VX double Dora, right?
That was exactly what I was looking at right now. A pair of Dora already. However, no Yakuhai pairs. This is not a very fast hand, just a very valuable hand.
Mm-hmm. It might become even more valuable as some more monsters are picked up, paving the path for the half flush Dora 2. We'll see if Yak manages to draw it. It's exactly what he needs to make this comeback.
Light Pink Yoshi, drawing a middle weight on the 4-6 of bamboo, decides to cut the south pair that he has, actually.
Oh, the 2-mon being drawn by V-Act.
Oh, that's very interesting. We could potentially see a half flush shift, or even a full flush shift.
Oh, but it won't matter. Tempai for Sparrowhawk. I know it's going to be very difficult to push this hand, although it's actually extremely easy because you want all the tiles that would deal in.
Yes, dealer, Riichi, Pinfu, potentially an extra Dora 1.
Mm-hmm.
Which would be 58 on Iran on Dora.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's between, I believe, 1,300 also 3,900 if it's on Atsumo. And it goes up to, Manga if it's Sumo on the best side and flip Ura. We'll see what he gets. Meanwhile, most players just, keeping it very simple. Just playing defensively as they can, but not quite folding just yet.
I think so this kind of Catfood Bowl tournament is very interesting in terms of playstyle, because a lot of these are high-level players, and high-level players tend to play more defensively in general. I find that has been a trend, and so unfortunately, a lot of these players are pushing a lot more than they're used to because of the tournament format, where it's kind of winner take all in this situation.
Yeah, it's a very different style of gameplay, right? Because in when you're playing ranked, you really just want to avoid last at all costs, basically. But when you're playing in a tournament, suddenly it flips the script, right? Because you actually need to get first and second a lot more. So you need to make these kinds of plays that, maybe you might deal in, but you still need to push because you need to win those hands.
Correct. And then we didn't miss I hope we didn't miss the Ricci from Light Pink Yoshi. Ricci pin Foodora 2 on the 5-8 pin. Bobrick draws 2 of the 5 pin, actually. Ed has the Aka. So there are still some left in the wall, but the chances of drawing has become slimmer and slimmer.
Oh, there it is, Sparrowhawk. Sumo's. Oh my goodness, we all saw the cut-in, right? Ricci pink with Sumo, and it's gonna be Ura 2 for Sparrowhawk. Getting that
For the
Mongon.
Mongon. Incredible. 12,000 points, 4,000 all.
And there it is. It's exactly what Sparrowhawk needed. Getting fourth with very negative points last round. However, after the first game, they did have a very good lead. So this does mean that now it's definitely still possible to make a comeback.
That also pushes Light Pink Yoshi into 3rd place at the moment. So now Light Pink Yoshi must push in order to make top 4.
It is only self-1, so there's no need to be completely reckless at all costs at the moment. And so we'll see what kinds of hands he decides to push. He did find the Ricci last round, unfortunately did not win with that Dora 2. But we'll see if maybe now he can find a win.
Yes, Sparrowhawk does have 2 Doras in his hand, which is absolutely great for points, but doesn't have a fast way to Tempai. So maybe holding on to all these extra honor tiles to hope to pair one up.
So what do you think of this style of play where you make a pawn very early and just hopes to, somehow find a way to win it?
Honestly, it's not my particular style of play. I am very much kind of a wait and see what tiles I get. But with value like this and dealer and the need to push, honestly, I think this is kind of a greedy play, but also a tournament consideration play. And because the Pinzu, which is the suit that they called, is also Dora's suit, there's also potential for a half flush.
And one other thing is that, sometimes you can make this play because the tile that you just called is also valid for Tanyao, so you can make an all simples hand or get one of the Yakuhai, like how Sparrowhawk just got, and then, you're in the clear. You can still win this hand.
Unfortunately, though, both of the other white dragons are already discarded. So it is a Yakuhai pair, but it's not one that he can actually call to make a Yakuhai.
Yeah, you cannot call to make Yakuhai, but it's still good for defending, and like you're saying about the half flush, it would be useful for that. However, we do have Light Pink Yoshi with a very fast Ricci first row, and it's gonna be Ricci only, but you can always hit Ura.
Sumo, Epots, not Epots. Oh, there is one of the tiles. One so. Will Viact break?
Yeah,
the
so
Yakuhai?
having to push to make that, that point differential actually deals in to Light Pink Yoshi. Fortunately for him, the Uradora is 4 and not 6. That was very close. If it was the 5, would have been very dangerous. And now we have Viac's time to shine. Does have to win a lot here to make up the point difference. They're currently in first place, I believe, in the overall standings with plus 59. So, even if you can upgrade your overall standing to like a 3rd, that's already amazing.
Absolutely. Especially after the fact that he is first place, so Viact is able to lose a few more points here than some of the other players, but he cannot be this low in 4th place, considering this would be, I think, what, a minus 30 something at this current point in time.
Oh yeah, quite a lot of points that you'd be losing.
Yes. But it's okay because they Anko up the 3 of characters and is slowly making their way to Tempai.
Yeah, the concealed triplet of 3 mon going to be helping this hand out very much, putting them at 2 away, I believe. Sparrowhawk collecting all the Manzu as well. However, We know that a lot of the 3-mon are being held in VX hands, so it's going to be hard to make the half flush happen.
Light Pink Yoshi actually looking for a 3-mon to potentially fill this 1-2 edge weight or a 1-mon to pair to triple up the 1-mon that he has.
Oh, another triplet being picked up by VAct. Also now hoping to maybe pivot into an all simples, but now officially went away. We'll see what they can make of this hand. It's quickly mounting to be a very, very spicy hand.
Yes, we have 2 triplets and 2 pairs. So depending on what could be drawn, there is a Yakuman chance at Suanko for concealed triplets. There is still 1 2-so left in the wall. And
1 3-pin.
1 3-pin left in the wall. Very exciting. Wow.
Yeah, maybe he can do it again.
Bobrick deciding to keep the red dragon, the once cut red dragon. I'm wondering if they decided to do that because it could be a safe tile for later.
Right, there it is, Senpai. Richie Dora going to be picked up by VAct. And now waiting on the 4-pin that was just discarded. Not safe anymore, unfortunately. So Light Pink Yoshi picking the best moment to drop that tile. 2 away from 7 pairs, but going to be cutting it to defend.
Bobrick draws the 8-pin Dora, does not know if it's safe or not, and decides this is probably not a hand I should fight for. And starts to fold out.
Yeah, the power of the dealer Richie is really scary because, you know, you never know when you're dealing into 12,000, and that's... You never want to do that, especially when you need to win this tournament, right? You want to leave that dealer, especially VAct, who was in 4th place, so don't want to deal in at all.
Exactly. It could be Richie Nomi for 1500, or it could be Richie Tanyao Pinfu Peiko, or Richie All Simples, Pinfu, and Twice Pure Double Sequence. It could be so much.
You never know. Light Pink Yoshi still just folding. Looks like that's gonna be how it's gonna shake out. I mean, there's not a lot of tiles left, so you know, these players who might have been like 2 away still, or maybe 1 away with a bad weight, you're not gonna want to push because even if you do push, the chance of you winning the hand is so slow.
Definitely. And also Light Pink Yoshi and Bobrick still have 1 dealer each, 1 dealer turn left each. So they still have their times to shine.
So there's no more tiles left to Tsumo, so it would have to be a direct discard. So it looks like it might end up just being, you know, Tenpai at the end, 15 or 1,000 points each, and still though, that's a great result for VAC, don't get me wrong. 3,000 points just for reaching, scaring everyone off. It's a great time.
Definitely. And he adds 300 points to the pot for the next turn as well.
Yes, it's a very important piece of information, for sure. There it is, Tenpai. They see it's a 4-pin. Glad I didn't drop that. But we'll see what VAC gets for the next hand. Looks like it's going to be some nice shapes and some nice pairs. The Dora, the 4-pin, not in anyone's hand. Scratch that. Light Pink Yoshi picks it up. Has actually a very nice hand.
Light Pink Yoshi, I think, has the fastest hand here. But there's also Sparrowhawk, who has a very nice hand, and the red 5-pin, which connects to that 4-pin Dora very nicely as well.
Sparrowhawk does need a lot of points. Bobrick, though, just sitting back and relaxing, does not need to win any hands. Although, it would be nice to get some more points to make sure you don't fall off and you can actually get into the top 4. You never know how the other games are gonna go, right?
Right, and there's also this chance of a outside hand with a 7-8-9 mixed triple sequence for Bobrick. So that could be a massive hand, depending on the tiles drawn.
The triplet being picked up by VAct puts them into 1 away, but they do not decide to take it. Looking like a repeat of the last hand. The 3-2-3-4, 6-8.
Maybe forcing a all simples by cutting that 9 of characters.
Yeah, it does appear to be that. I mean, I think Viak just wants to really run up the dealer repeats and just get as many of them as he can. Actually,
And
one away
I
now.
guess he did a good choice because yeah, he paired up that 4-mon and is now 1 away.
Yeah, we'll see. 2 pens still out there, 4-mon, 1 of left for the Tree Concealed triple draw. Pawn by
Actually,
Lightning
drawing
Kyoshi.
that connected. That red 5. So now Sparrowhawk has 3 Dora in hand.
Yeah, Viact realizes Lightning Kyoshi is way too fast and now is going to try and match him in speed. Go for the 4-mon and 2-pin weight. Oh, and there it is. Sparrowhawk picks up Tenpai Richie with Dora 3, but kills into Lightning Kyoshi, unfortunately. Defusing that bomb.
2,000. Yeah, Lightning Yoshi only wins a 2,000 point hand, but combined with Bobrick's Ricci stick from last hand, as well as Viac's Ricci stick from last hand, and the 300 extra points, that 2,000 actually becomes 3,300.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of extra points. They're picked up by Lightning Kyoshi, and some extra points might be picked up now because Dora 2 in hand for Lightning Kyoshi.
Yoshi really aiming to take first from Boberick, but most importantly, keep Viact in 4th place for his chance at a Final 4 finish.
We'll see if Boberick decides to play it simple and just defend again. We have seen plenty of defensive play from him. Wow, Sparrowhawk just throws it out there. Khan, 9-mon just goes for it. Very interested to see what this play is supposed to be.
What is this plan? I am very confused.
I wonder if that maybe was a misclick because that's a very interesting play. Is this a half-life attempt? All triplets? Or maybe he's just trying to confuse them.
This must have been a misclick. Well, now it's Red Dragon.
Yeah, now you just go for the half-life for sure.
No, it's
or
dead,
maybe it's
though.
just a defense play? I don't know.
By giving people more Dora? I don't know. Oops. Maybe they're giving the viewers content, you know?
The content.
Con for content. Or actually, I know. It's conning for flow.
Oh, I see. So maybe they were like, okay, this hand, I'm just not gonna win it. I want to have better luck in the next hand, and so you sacrifice this hand for the next one.
Exactly. That must be the decision that Sparrowhawk made.
Wow, the pair of Adora, it would be nice to see if this hand can actually turn into like a triple hand. There might actually be an actual shot of winning this.
Yes, the new Dora nonetheless. But Viact, I think, is this Tenpai? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is Tenpai for Viact on the 8-pin and Green Dragon for half flush plus 1 Dora and maybe Green Dragon that Sparrowhawk does have 1 of.
Yeah, so this is already Mangan, so the Green Dragon does not even matter that much. We'll see if he even discards it, though it's very dangerous for Sparrowhawk to discard any of these honor tiles that haven't been seen before.
Yoshi also 1 away from Tenpai, but would have to make an interesting decision about cutting Dora. Ideal draw is another 3-pin Dora, and then discarding the regular 5-pin.
There's something terrible happening right now, and it's the fact that Sparrowhawk just dropped a white dragon because his hand got better. So if it gets better again, it might be really bad, as he might deal into Viac's hand.
Oh no, it might be here.
Oh, and there it is. The 8-pin gets discarded. Mangan for Viac, 8,000 points. And that's going to be enough to flip the last place. So 16,000 point swing. So from that Mangan puts Viac in 3rd. So now looking like Viac finally accomplished what he needed to do for this game and
make 3rd place, absolutely.
I mean, there's still one hand left in the game, so we'll see if Sparrowhawk manages to come back and shut him down, but looking very rough. Light Pink Yoshi now on the very last dealership of the last game of the tournament, so has to make something happen here.
Absolutely. Again, Light Pink Yoshi currently in 6th place, or sorry, 5th place? Sorry. Yeah, 5th place at plus 20.45. So definitely needs to do something with this dealership. Cannot maintain the 2nd place.
Yeah, so we see with the standings they are right now, Viact probably going to lose a few points, so might be at around 50, and Light Pink Yoshi currently gaining around 10 points. So yeah, this might not be enough, so really needs to win something here.
It also just depends on how the other game goes. So we are all at the mercy at of these players, and we all want to know just as much as they do who is going to make it through. Light Pink Yoshi gets to Ishanten, so 1 away from Tenpai. And it would be wonderful if he could draw a 6 of bamboo, because then he would get Pinfu as well.
Right, 1 away for Light Pink Yoshi with a very good pure double sequence chance.
Unfortunately, 2 of the 6 souls have already been discarded by Sparrowhawk, and 1 of the 9 souls by Viact.
Oh. Also, 1 away for Bobrick. Oh, but there it is, Tenpai for Light Pink Yoshi.
Slam it!
9 mana and 7, so just has to hit it. Bobrick trying to get Tenpai. Ooh, gets it. Bobrick Tenpai. Will he drop the 1 mon and risk it all? Because it could be very scary, right? It could be like a 3-3-2, and he just got the 3 mon and waiting on 1. So
absolutely. Viac decides to fold here, cutting the 2 red dragons, and I guess that's why he did not call the red dragon before.
Bobrick does decide to take Tenpai, by the way, waiting on 1 and 4 bamboo. If he does win it, I think it will be enough to make it into the top 4. So it's already on this. 2 bamboo. Suji, 3 away from the 5 of bamboo in Light Pink Yoshi's hand, so figures probably safe.
So, Irie, what do you think about the theory of waiting 1 turn before you reach it? Because if Light Pink Yoshi waited 1 turn, they would have gotten the red 5.
Oh, it doesn't matter though, because Bobrick finds the Tsumo to close it out. Oh, exciting game.
So Light Pink Yoshi will maintain 2nd place. I don't know if that's enough, but we'll see.
Bobrick, yeah, manages to eke out that Tsumo for first. Light Pink Yoshi did get 2nd, as you said. We'll see if that's good enough. Yacht only losing 12.5. Sparrowhawk, unfortunately, dealt into that manga and is now minus 24.1. So we'll see soon what the standings look like.
I honestly can't wait to find out. I know both games were very close, so...
Yeah, I wonder if the other game's still going on. It looks like it is. Here it is. South 3, Suzume's dealer. Let's see how it's going. Chris Gong, who was at the very bottom, I believe, is now in 1st place, 38,000. 2nd place, Red Panda with 24.6. Paradigm, 21.2. And Suzume needs the most help out of this table at 4th place. So this is exactly what they need. Very nice.
A very good dealer run could do a lot for Suzume. They also need a 1st place in order to... They will likely need a 1st place in order to make it.
Oh, there it is. Chris Gong. I didn't even notice the shiny red dragon on the bottom top right corner. Dora 3, red dragon. Mixed triple sequence does make a Mangon for Chris Gong. There are also 2 repeat counters. So Chris Gong now up to 47.6. Quite a lot of points. So now here it is. South 4. Chris Gong has to run it up. Get a lot of repeats and get a really good 1st place to make it back. Let's see if they can do it. I think
that Dylan also switched the order. So Suzume is actually now in 3rd place, while Paradigm is actually in 4th place.
Yeah, so Paradigm was in 2nd place. So taking a 4th would drop the necessary points for top 4 by a lot. So we could see now Paradigm drop out of 4th, Chris Kong rise up, and then maybe Red Panda will still stay in there, 2nd place. Red Panda was at 35, so I think a 2nd place would be good enough for Red Panda.
Definitely, I agree with that. But however, Red Panda looking to maybe shift to a half flesh here with all of the bamboo tiles.
So what kind of hand do you think Suzume might go for, considering Suzume needs a lot of points, right? They were in 6th place at 16.9, so what kind of hand do you think they need here?
Ooh, that's so hard because they have to overtake Dealer. And I think with that 30,000 point difference, it would need to be, oh my gosh, like a Baimon Direct. And I'm not sure how you would get that. I think you would need to at least draw one Dora and maybe con the red dragon, silent con it, and
Ooh.
Ricci.
Well, that would
So
be
you
an
can have
impressive
more
hand.
Dora. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Where
might
there's
not
a
get
will,
a
there's a
chance
way.
though. I mean, something else that could happen here, and hear me out. Chris Kong just got into Ricci. What if someone deals in, and then Chris Kong puts the other players down, and then he can win?
Well, there's that 9 Mon Dora. So that's a start. Red Panda also drew one of the winning tiles that does not fit into their Sozu hand, but that's okay because they drew a connector.
Chris Kong looking for the 9 Mon. Actually, quite a few of them left. 3 of them, to be exact. And 1/6 remaining.
Yeah, in this case, it's actually more surprising that there's more Dora left in the wall than in people's hands.
Yeah, it's going to be very hard for Red Panda to win this, but I think a fold is probably good enough. For now, at least. 2nd place is just enough, I think.
So let's just assume, I'm going to just do some rough math right now. Let's just assume that top 4 cutoff is plus 40, right? So Chris Kong is at negative 31. So with this, they would be negative 31 plus 15 for the points, plus right now is about 20 for the bonus. So he would need
Maybe around 60,000?
36,000 more points.
36,000 more points. Oh my goodness.
More points.
It's gonna be 82,000 points necessary for the 1st place. Although, yeah, if it's around 40, yeah, maybe that might be enough.
I mean, if it's a little bit less, because currently the cutoff is at 31, so that's why I'm saying maybe 40. But so
Oh my
he would
goodness.
still need about 28 to 30 something thousand points.
Suzume
Oh my God,
finding all of
Suzume.
the 9 Mon.
This is the hand that Suzume needs.
Oh, I don't know if you have the time to win this hand, but it's definitely very, very unfortunate for Chris Kong. If only there was a chi, you know? If only there was a chi.
But a dealer repeat is not bad either, right? It just adds more points to the pot.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's still 1/6 Mon left. Is it here? No, it's not here. And not on the last draw, but still 3,000 points. Chris Kong will gladly take them. It is goes a long way for the 32,000, now 29,000 more points. So you're saying a total of 82,000 points is necessary, around for that.
We're guessing here.
40 points. Yeah, I mean, let's just assume, right? So maybe 3 more repeats. Assuming there's like a
Could
Mon in there.
happen.
Yeah, it could
This is
actually happen.
also a really good hand. It's fast as well.
And there it is. Pawn being called. Green Dragon. Only 1 away now.
Takes the pawn. Could probably also cheat a 6-9 and then shift up to include the red 5, waiting on the 4-so and maybe hopefully drawing a 6-so as well.
What do you think if Chris Kong draws the south? What then?
Oh.
Do you go for the pawns all triplet? Do you... Okay, this is pretty good. Chris Kong cannot include the Dora in the hand. Oh, okay.
Oh,
The sides,
decides not to.
okay, yeah, the sides that just needs the repeats no matter what, preferring the ability to call pawn to being able to use the door in the hand.
Called cheat, right? Because even just 1,000 points would get back the Ricci stick that he threw out in the last turn, and get a repeat on his dealership. So,
yeah. So I guess what he's saying is, it doesn't really matter if it's 2,900 or.
oh no,
oh
the
no.
backfire.
The backfire. Unfortunate. That'd have been great to have, but still, the difference between 1,500, which is, you know, just a dealer win in general, and 2,900, which is just with the Dora, it's kind of negligible, right?
Right. And he would rather have speed and prioritize efficiency.
Yeah, because just getting those repeats is just more important, right? He needs to get so many repeats.
As we said, 29,000 more points. And Suzume draws the deal-in tile.
And there it is. Ron, Chris Kong, going to be taking 1,800 points. This is the first repeat. So, oh yeah, it's a little bit more actually because of the triplets. Adds up to 40 fu, so a little bit more points there.
Another Yaku high hand for Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but unfortunately, there's another Red Dragon Yakuhai pair in Suzume's hand. One of my favorite Japanese mahjong terms, also known as mochi mochi, when two players have the same pair of Yakuhai.
Oh yeah, I believe Tenhote was teaching us about that yesterday. Yeah, it's like you want it so bad and you're looking for it all game, and at some point maybe you just decide, okay, this is not working, I'm just gonna do something else. Otherwise you just keep
And you
keeping
discard
them.
one. Yes.
Mhm.
Very interesting decisions on Suzume's part, because I'm not quite sure what they're doing holding all those Yakuhai and cutting the one pin. So maybe Chitoi? Do we think Chitoi? 7 pairs?
Yeah, the 7 pairs, it might be. There's a lot of pairs going on right now. Or maybe just waiting for the pawns for all triplets, but you know, it might take a while for the red. It might never come out actually. Chris Kong might just want to go for a Ricci with the 2-sided weight, even if it's
Red?
not
Yes.
pawning.
And Red Panda has 2 Ankos in their hand right now, of the 3-mon and the 2-pin.
Yeah, so two triplets do add a lot of value to the hand, and they do help complete the hand quite a bit, because they're so flexible, right? You can use them as a triplet or as a 2-sided weight sometimes for a pair.
Paradigm drawing a really helpful red 5-pin to potentially get a pure double sequence in the 5, 6, 7 of the circles.
2 away for Paradigm. See if they can get that, as you said. Red Panda now draws the north pair. Yeah, just locks in the triplet. Interesting.
Maybe going for 3 concealed triplets, that could be +2 Han for them. As we said, the Red Panda doesn't really need the points in this situation, because he started off as 3rd place and is currently in 2nd place right now.
So it looks like Chris Kong might be going for the Atozuke, right? The Japanese term for when you are waiting or trying to build a hand where you get the Yaku later, right? The Red Dragon later. And we'll see if that works out for them. What do you think of this kind of play?
I think this is... Again, I tend not to go Atozuke just because I'm worried that someone else has a pair and it might never come out, which is what we see here. However, in this case where Chris needs points, maybe opening would signal that he's, in tempai faster to the other players, and maybe someone will fold using that red dragon that he so needs.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes just getting into tempai is enough for Chris Kong, although Paradigm now 1 away, pawning the 6, so he's gonna be looking for Tanyodora 2 to close it out.
Red in tempai, Dama tempai, so silent tempai on the 7 pin, I'm sorry.
Oh, there it is. The Red Dragon's discarded, so it looks like Chris Kong going to switch into all simples. Paradigm, though, was in second place, so this win would put them in third. So essentially, since the UMA, right, the bonus points for winning are equal to 15.5 and then -5, -15. Every hand that you win that puts you above a placement is essentially like winning 10,000 points. So this is a very efficient play by Paradigm to actually get a lot of points out of this L4.
Definitely, and I'm curious if Red Panda just staying silent because he knows he doesn't need the points and he wants to be able to fold out at any time.
So Chris Kong going to be getting into them by now. 3-6 pin. Looks like discarding the red dragons worked out for him. He had a backup plan. But Tsumo for Paradigm. So going to be... That's going to be it. Daniel, Dora 2, Tsumo 4,000 with the Honba 600 extra. So that is enough to put Paradigm in third. And I guess we'll see if the players all met their conditions to get into the top 4. That was some exciting mahjong.
That was very exciting. It's so close. I honestly have no idea where this cutoff is going to be, but unfortunately, Chris did not end up with the plus 80,000 points that I think he needed to get into the top 4. But it's anyone else's game, honestly.
But remember, we do have prizes for all sorts of placements in this tournament, so everyone will be taking back home something. And even the players who don't make the top 4 cut, are still... First off, incredibly amazing for reaching this point because, you don't get into the top 8 by just being any sort of player. These players are amazing and they have shown us that they are amazing in Mahjong. They played excellently. And they'll also be taking lots of stuff home. So that was an exciting match. What did you think, Ichigo?
I think there was just so much in that. And that was, I think, really high level play. There was a lot of defensive play going on in those two Hanchan. Definitely more than we've seen before. And there was a lot of strategic, Yaku shifting and Dama Tenpai, silent Tenpais. And honestly, it just shows us how different people can play all the same game but have different strategies going into it.
That's right. All our players got very lucky, but we'll see who was the luckiest of them all. And I guess if the rank is ready, let's take a look. Well, first off, let's take a look at the Game 3 results, right? So we saw Light Pink Yoshi took second place, I believe, with plus 5.6. Bobrick took that first, played very defensively, very well. Viact only took a minus 1.8. So not that bad. And Sparrowhawk, unfortunately, took a very big negative hit, minus 53.6. And then we saw Red Panda, right?
Getting a nice, easy second place, plus 2.4. Suzume at minus 28.8, taking the fourth place. Paradigm just barely being able to make it out of fourth place, climbing into third place to take a minus 13.8. And Chris Gong, the big winner of this third game, plus 40.2. So great job to all the players.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the top 8 semifinals if they are ready. And yeah, there they are. Bobrick, Viact, Paradigm, and Red Panda. Congratulations! You guys made it to the finals. Top 4 of these 3 games after, the having of the scores from the previous round. So they are going to be our finalists. Round of applause for them. They played excellently. And unfortunately, Light Pink Yoshi, had a lot of luck at the start of that for the first hand, right? But unfortunately, even by the end of it, didn't win that hand, didn't win a single hand. That was really rough. I mean, just got very unlucky. An excellent player though, did amazing. Chris Gong, also had some bad luck, but at the very end, won a really big Hanchan, tried their best, but unfortunately did not make it. Suzume as well, lost that game at the very end. It was a huge blow. They were actually doing really well, but could not make it as well. And Sparrowhawk, yeah, just also very unlucky. Just dealt in a lot in Ricci even, so could not make it. Had 2 very big negative games. Unfortunately, could not make it to the top 4. But still, these players, like I said, amazing play.
I mean, just the skill it requires to get here, it is astronomical to be high enough to get selected to participate in the qualifiers and to make 3 games to qualify into top 16 players. That already is so impressive. And these players, all of them, already competed in the quarterfinals that we saw yesterday and made it to these top 8 semifinals. So all of these players, regardless of placement today, are going home with prizes, and it has just been great mahjong to watch. Very skillful.
So all our players got very lucky, and now it's time for the viewers at home, yes, you guys, to get lucky. And try to win this fortune charm that we're going to be giving away to you guys. Another fortune charm for 30 days. And how should we do this giveaway?
I think before we should give them a chance. So please go and grab your friends who are watching at any point in the game to come back to the stream to try and win this last lucky draw. Like and subscribe to Mahjong Soul. And help support more American Mahjong. We absolutely love the support of this community. And again, this is the last draw for this evening. So please tell all your friends who are watching to come back and try and participate.
So we saw some amazing play from all the players, right? We saw people getting lucky. We saw people playing defensive. We saw players being so aggressive, trying to get all of those repeats. So we got our top 4, and I'm wondering, who do you guys think was the most impressive to you guys personally? Who impressed you the most out of all these players that we watched? Because, you know, they're all really impressive, but I'm wondering who just stood out the most to you guys? Remember, we had Bobrick, we had V-Act, had Paradigm, Red Panda, Light Pink Yoshi,
Sparrowhawk, Chris Gong. Like, please comment your favorite moment from these players.
Ooh, seeing a lot of Paradigm. Seeing some Light Pink Yoshi, Red Panda.
Yes, the last draw Haite Baimon. Very impressive, very impressive.
Yeah, that last draw Haite was just crazy. It was actually what got him to the top 4, right?
I believe it was. That 4th to 1st place shift was I think what got him there.
Yeah, exactly. It was from 4th to 1st, right? Isn't that like a swing of like 30 points?
Maybe it was 3rd to 1st. I actually think. I'm sorry. I might have misspoke there.
Still, though, that's a massive swing. It's 16,000 points, right? And then for every placement you get, it's another 10. So that's like pretty much a Byakuman, right? That's pretty much a Byakuman sumo.
Absolutely. We see Bobrick's emote game as the star of these games.
Yeah, Bobrick, everyone's favorite. The emote plays were so strong.
And we'll see him again
too.
Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see him again tomorrow.
These are all great players. Let's see.
All right, we're gonna be giving you guys just a little bit longer to select the winner. So get those last player names in, and we'll see who won. Looks like it's
okay. Yeah, we have a winner.
Yeah, the winner is Edunu, or Edunu. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Who said Red Panda? So it looks like Red Panda is the most favored by the gods, by the luck.
So Edunu, please email mjs.cs@yo-star.com with your YouTube ID and your Mahjong Soul friend code to claim your 30-day fortune charm. Congratulations on this win, and once again, congratulations to the top 4 players, Bobrick, V-Act, Paradigm, and Red Panda, for making it to the top 4 in very, very good play.
All right, so with that, congratulations, Edunu, but also congratulations to our finalists. For the Catfood Bowl Minor #Sweet Wonders, we have Bobrick, V-Act, Paradigm, and Red Panda. So a reminder to you guys about how this works is that when they win, they also carry over a part of their points. So halved to +31 for Bobrick, 23.4 for V-Act, Paradigm with 19.1, and Red Panda at 18.7. So not that great of a difference, actually. Not as great as, you know, they came in like it was a huge point gap coming into today, and it's not going to be as big going into
only
day 3.
13 points. That is like one placement between all of these. So these games were kept so close.
Yeah, it was very close, but congratulations to all of the players who made it. It was that close only because they played their best. So congratulations to them. And yeah,
And we will be playing the finals on Saturday, I believe. Oh no, Sunday.
at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. UTC -7 if you're in Europe and you want to calculate it. Here you go. So yeah, look forward to that, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed today's live stream, the semifinals. We saw some amazing mahjong. We'll have a highlight reel coming out later after the finals on the 25th, and we'll also have a little catching up before the next stream. At the beginning of the stream, we'll have a little video ready for you guys so you guys can see the best moments. But yeah, please remember to like and subscribe to the official Mahjong Soul YouTube channel for more content. We got more live streams, more tournaments. We also have the highlight reels, and we also have a ton of other Mahjong Soul related content. So subscribe if you play Mahjong Soul. There's so much cool stuff coming out. And please follow the official channels as well for the latest content releases. On X, the everything at Mahjong Soul _EN, Facebook at Mahjong Soul EN, and join the Discord. There's tons of fun emotes and stickers for you guys to use at discord.gg/Mahjong Soul. You can also play games with everybody. I played so many games with people there. Everyone's super nice, so you have lots of fun. And yeah, thank you for watching so much. We'll see you guys on the 25th.
See you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.